Well, just name one positive thing, one happy thought before I move to the next thing. Give me one happy thought.
Well, Aubameyang came on at the 5th minute and he came off at the 66th minute.
Genitalia reporting.
Oh my god!
Wait, Osuna, are you high?
R9 4th and Cristiano Ronaldo 5th.
Can I go next?
I think Cristiano Ronaldo is the greatest European.
And I want to say R9 just because I actually rate him higher. HH. It's just that you always say that he had a grenade tossed to his ankle, and he floated or some type of stuff. It's crazy, bro.
You guys, it's the kid. Trying to stay alive, trying to be the best guy that I can be. So, guys, this is UCL week. It's UCL week. You know what it is. So, Champions League, all that beautiful stuff will happen this week. So, for Sunday, what's going to be on this show? So, guys, we're going to talk Real Madrid. I'm just going to answer some abuse and insults I received from Madrid fans with regards to a guy called Joselu that I simply do not rate. Again, that's why I put up the jersey of Raul over there. The Louis. Okay, well, Kenny, don't say that because you'll be attacked by Madrid fans. And we're not going to talk about Trossard and Arsenal. And I kept the receipts. You wanted Modric, so take Modric. We get Trossard, you take Modric. So I'll talk about how Arsenal stole our target and then actually get the player they wanted, which was Modric. So we'll touch upon that as well as Arsenal's chances to say what's up with the EPL. And guys, maybe I'm to blame. Maybe I'm to blame. The Chelsea banter era continues, and we just try to continue and to dissect where do Chelsea go from here, and most importantly, how do we get rid of that bum-ass, idiotic piece of crap, criminal, spy, useless, filthy, stinking loser called Todd Boehly and his clear leg bombs out of Chelsea Football Club. So, guys, you know what it is. I've got my fan here and ready. It's quite warm over here.
No UCL preview.
About that. Can we talk about the Taliban talk at?
We need to talk about the Tuchel tweet, man. We need to talk about that.
Can we talk about that? I sent it on
literally the Taliban, the official Taliban. I've actually tweeted about Thomas Tuchel. This is actually the official Taliban.
Oh no.
Wait, you're lying.
No,
I'm not lying.
I sent you to it. I sent you.
Wait. Share something.
Can you open it?
The real Taliban.
The real Taliban, bro.
Why does the Taliban ask Twitter? First of all, ain't you supposed to be like some?
So it's not because of tucheliban. They've known about tucheliban and they. Wait, why? What do they even say?
What's going on here?
Let me. I'll share the screenshot.
Go watching at the end.
Oh yeah, share the screen of it.
I'll share the screen. This is it here.
What's in God's name?
This is it here. Can everyone see that?
Okay, look. Okay, now this is weird. I don't even know whether I want to bring this up, but let's actually. We're going to start with this, man. Let's start with this because now I'm actually genuinely scared now. Okay. So guys, remember sending your dubs or super chats to help support the show and all that stuff. What the?
So this is the official
So this is the official.
They're like relations department. There's a communication relations department from Taliban. So it said this man that goes by the Moloko Tupalaka has nothing to do.
You're not there, lie.
He disguises himself as a member.
That's a meme.
No. This is a lie. No.
This is a meme, man. This is not true, man.
No,
this is not true.
The thing is, I've gone to the Twitter page. I've gone to their profile page, yo. Like they're like legit. Like you can see the stories, the stuff like that. Like this, and the replies.
How is that Elon Musk allowing terrorist organizations in the Twitter?
Yeah, why is Taliban on Twitter? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, what's going on with Elon Musk?
Technically, they're a government.
I mean, why are they on X? I mean, because it's not.
He's got like terrorist passports, you know, all shit like that.
Yo, they even put the picture in.
Do terrorist organizations have an official Twitter thing?
I'm not kidding you. There's so many various terrorist organizations.
Sorry, PSG. They said, "What is his punishment?" It said, "He will be moderately stoned if he ever."
What is moderately stoned?
This is a lie. I'm sorry.
Okay, let's play along. Okay, first of all, I think this is all fun. We all like to have fun. Okay, let's play along. Let's say this is real. I don't think this is real, but let's just say this is real. You can't blame Tuchel. We, the people, came up with tucheliban. Tuchel has never claimed that name. So you can't go after Tuchel because we say the guy who goes by this. He doesn't. He didn't name himself for that.
The guy said he will be moderately stoned. What was that?
Okay.
What's going on?
Kenny, he's using Google Translate.
So wait, hold on. So it's banned against United. So in our pre-conference, I need a journalist to ask him this.
Oh my
I
God!
don't need a journalist to say, "Okay, Thomas, have you heard about this thing with regards to
They're gonna ask him. They're gonna ask him about that.
The last few years for him has not been good, man. He got divorced and everything.
In the next press conference, someone just needs to ask him, do you go by the name tucheliban? What do you know of tucheliban? Yeah. And now here's my thing though. I'd ask you, do you think he knows about tucheliban?
He definitely knows, man. He's in his 40s. He's fine.
He knows.
He goes on X. He goes on Twitter.
Yeah, he probably has people he knows.
How old is this dude? Sorry. He's 50. Yeah, no, come here. He'll use Twitter.
If Pep is on it, bro, he's on it.
Yeah, he's on it.
Yeah.
My thing is that, okay, Taliban, if these are you guys, he's not to blame.
If these are you guys.
He's never called himself to Caliban, so he doesn't go by that money. He's like, goes by the money
card.
So okay, this is true. I recently went to that Twitter account. Yeah. Somebody asked them who's better, Messi or Ronaldo. They said Ronaldo because Messi is a homosexual or something. Even though he has a wife and everything. No, it's true. It's on.
This don't bullshit, man. I don't believe this.
You see, Delta. Now you just have to just go. We didn't need to go
into
that era.
Why do the Taliban have public relations, anyways?
That's what I'm talking about. What's going on?
Thank you. See, now we get to the real thing. This is why I think this is bogus. If you're a terrorist organization, why do you have a Twitter account? Next thing we know, these guys have TikTok. I don't know what they'll show on their TikTok, but let's just
I think they actually do.
They're trying to recruit.
The government of Afghanistan, they've taken over, dude.
I mean, whatever it takes, Kenny, whatever it takes.
What the hell?
Okay, Z-Man, do you buy this whole tucheliban crap?
No, I'm still confused. I saw a picture you guys talking about tucheliban. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, so basically, apparently, the Taliban, the actual Talibans, they apparently have a Twitter account, and they said that the man who goes by the moniker tucheliban, we do not associate himself with him, and if he ever comes to Afghanistan, he will be moderately stoned for calling him tucheliban. And Ziman, my thing is that I don't believe that's the real Taliban, but if it is, he didn't call himself that. We did.
Yeah, no, not even that. Not even that. First and foremost,
killing niggas.
Why are like known terrorists out there having having Twitter accounts and just like is out here for are they really?
It's called public relations, man.
No, if it was a golden tick, fine.
No, but the thing is, Z-Man,
why was that?
No, but the thing is, Z-Man, you've made the wrong mistake. You called it Twitter. You call it Twitter. It's now X now. Elon Musk is rolling differently now, man. Elon Musk is rolling differently.
He is allowing anybody.
He's like a big, he's like a big promoter.
Okay, so you know, I'd only believe you if that tick was gold. Now, I don't know how the Taliban will go.
Why would they have a gold tick? Like, what's going on? Like, why would they have a gold tick?
No, everybody can have a blue tick. I think the gold tick are actual fully. But
why would they verify? So you want them to go to play over there, Afghanistan, to check if it's actually the real? Like, what's going on? How could they have gold ticks?
I'm just saying. Show me a gold tick or I don't believe it, bro. Gold tick or nothing, bro. I'm sorry.
That's shit crazy. Yeah, how are you telling me that Tuchel ball is so bad to the point where these guys had a distance from him?
No.
Like,
You know what it is?
This is crazy.
Okay, look.
If
that's the real Taliban, it just shows you the power of social media. Because let's be real, tucheliban is probably one of the most famous football titles I think.
No, it can be the real Taliban, HH. It just can.
No, it's just not. No, that's like it's not. I
it definitely isn't.
I refuse.
I mean,
I refuse.
Not like
but here's the thing,
government tick.
But the thing is,
I want someone in the pre-match
Why
conference
would they
just
be
to
a
ask
government?
about that.
But the thing is, when you read their posts, these posts are like informative posts. Like a day ago.
Nah, man, this is some bullshit.
ODS.
ODS.
As a full account, then they won't go through.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but let me land. Like literally, like a day ago, one of their posts was a Nigerian gangster who entered our great country, fraudulent documentation, was captured and charged with drug smuggling. He was in Afghanistan to obtain drugs to Africa. He'll be intensely flogged before being deported to Nigeria via Kenya.
Intensely flogged?
Why would you post that on just like a troll Twitter account?
It wasn't removed or anything.
Nah.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
Nah, I'm sorry, man. Until I see like some proper, like, I don't know, like Al Jazeera or some people say this. I'm not believing in this. I'm sorry, this is some bullshit.
I'm sorry.
I can't believe that in 2023 we have known. I can't believe that in 2020. I can't believe in 2023 we have known terrorist organization having X. I'm sorry, I can't.
If you guys want to go that far, there's a bunch of neo-Nazis in Twitter. So
I saw the Yakuza.
Let's not move to the next thing. So let's go to our first thing right now. So Nomad, let me come to you, bro. So Nomad, your Madristas have attacked me, and I'm currently under cyberbullying. So I've been sent hate mail via DM and on the timeline because I don't rate Joselu. I called him a fruit seller and a truck driver and a guy who is pretty much a stopgap before Real Madrid gets a proper striker. That's been Mbappe or anything. So do you think I'm being harsh in saying that Joselu just ain't that guy? And you might win a La Liga with Joselu, you can't win a UCL with Joselu, and Joselu simply isn't up to Real Madrid standard because he's just a pretty good striker, but he's not a high-level striker. So that you say what?
All I want is a La Liga.
Man, crazy.
Yeah, but no matter. Do you talk about Joselu? Do you rate Joselu? Is Joselu good enough to be a Real Madrid starter?
Maybe not permanently, but do you know what he's coming off from? As a player.
What? Tell me.
Back-to-back relegation teams, and he was carrying both of those teams.
So all because he was
back-to-back relegation teams,
that doesn't mean that he's top tier. That's all because you can work well in a relegation team. How do you know that's going to walk away? Remember, there's no pressure on you in a relegation team. Real Madrid, there's no bigger pressure than Real Madrid for you to perform. So how do you know you can perform in this environment?
But just that he came on the back of, back-to-back relegation teams, and he kept them afloat by his goals and through his solo efforts. And he still hasn't given up, and he still wants to make an impact at Real Madrid. He wants to stay fit. I mean, that shows his character, That shows he can at least give you 30-35 games. And that's what you need for the La Liga, especially. And in the Champions League, okay, maybe he could be an impact player off the bench, but in the UCL, Bellingham, Vinny, Rodrigo, Modric, Valverde, Camavinga, and even Fran Garcia now. He is giving assists now, So these players have to work. But in La Liga, I think he could do well. He can give 20 plus goals if he can also be allowed to take penalties. So that's what is expected from him. And man, if he stays fit, I think he can give 20 plus goals.
But are you confident that you win La Liga ahead of Barcelona? Because Felix and Cancelo are cooking, bro.
It could be tough. I mean, I still think, I still think that Barcelona are the La Liga favorites.
You cut off. You still think what?
Barcelona are still the La Liga favorites. That's what I think. But we could still do it. If we can just grind out 1-0, 2-1, 2-0 results with consistencies, keeping the squad fresh, and if we just get out of the group stage, and if we really do well in the Copa del Rey, I think it could be a decent season. And then after we get a number 9, maybe a proper right back, then we could challenge for the UCL. But this season, I think La Liga should be a priority, and maybe the Copa del Rey, because I think we are getting out of the group as always.
Okay.
So Joselu could really help us.
Simon, what's your thoughts on Joselu and Real Madrid, man? Can he step up?
I mean, in terms of goals, I'm not quite sure he'll be a consistent goal scorer. I think more so than anything, I think Real Madrid is looking for Rodrigo to step up.
Let me say this right now. In 2023, he's an upgrade on Benzema. I don't know, but someone shared a clip of Benzema in the Saudi League. He had like a 1v1 and he basically trips over himself. So, no, because see, I don't want to say this, but I think, and I will never have this discussion because I'm biased, but there is a discussion out there as what has been the biggest Ballon d'Or drop-off. What has been the biggest drop-off of a Ballon d'Or winner? Again, that's a discussion to have, but I ain't never going to have that. But Simon, continue.
Yeah, listen, I think that the expectation for Real Madrid is going to have to be for Rodrigo to step up and Vinny to have more goal-scoring outputs and step up to kind of dampen the effects of like not having Benzema's 30-goal season on a consistent basis. Because I don't think Joselu has the ability to give them that. But he is someone that's like, I see more as just having a number 9 around. He's that type of player where it's just like you just need a number 9 out there. You don't really have anyone because let's be honest, even if Rodrigo does step up, I don't think it's going to be in the number 9 role. I think it's going to be
honestly,
around him.
People listen streets. We'll get there, see man. I will listen closely. I may not think Joselu is Real Madrid standard, but you're right. They just need a striker's presence. But Real have so many goal scorers. Z-man.
Yeah.
No, I would swap Joselu with Nico Jackson in a heartbeat.
I
would swap them in a heartbeat.
Well, the Nico Jackson, that's a different case. But with Joselu,
not Kojak.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait, what's up? Why you switch up so quick?
Z-man, continue.
When it comes to Joselu, I still don't think he's of the quality of Real Madrid. I still don't think he is of that quality. I agree with you in that sense, but what he brings in terms of just needing a forward for now, I think that's what Real Madrid see him as, a stopgap. Like nobody sees him as like being a top tier player. Even Real Madrid would be like, our expectation, we're not putting anything on him. It's going to be a case of, well, Rodrigo, you need to step up. You want a starting lineup position, you have to start producing goals because we're not going to get, I don't think they're going to get like top goal scorer Joselu on a consistent basis because he's dealing with a different team. When you're at Real Madrid, Barcelona, you're dealing with teams that park the bus majority of the time. You're dealing with no space majority of the time, and his job is just going to be to occupy the forward position. Like I agree with you in that sense. I don't think he's a top tier talent. I think he's a bare minimum mid tier talent. I don't see anything wrong with that statement, and I even think Real Madrid fans, like I've seen plenty of them say that their expectations for other players to make up the goals, and he's just there to get what he can out of it. Maybe like 15 goals, 20 goals overall. Huh?
Both of you are normal saying that like Real's focus should be on La Liga rather than the UCL.
No, I get that because again, he's not a top tier striker. They still need quality fullback and they still have certain areas that they're missing. I think their midfield is good enough, but again, it's about getting the mixture that they've got. Like, I don't think this diamond formation works for every single game, and I think that even goalkeeping aspect. I mean, like Kepa's a downgrade for an extreme downgrade.
Bro, I wouldn't know. I would know.
Yeah, so there are things that they're clearly missing, and I don't think that they're the clear favorites. I mean, Man City's the clear favorites. So for the Champions League, for them, it's probably like make it to the quarters, see what happens, and then focus in La Liga.
Yeah, I mean, look, see for me, look, they're talented. And even shout out to your boy Jude Bellingham. There is a lot of talent in this team. I don't see UCL winning. Hence why I think Nomad is right.
Can I ask you something,
is okay, but I think La Liga 100% they can win, and that they should. You have to go for everything for Real Madrid, but I think the real focus should be La Liga. So put it this way: I don't think that they should be in a situation where they are resting players in La Liga for a UCL. I think their prime focus should be to make sure guys are fresh and try to win La Liga and actually establish some sort of a force in La Liga. Let this team grow. They can say what's UCL, because remember that three-peat team, guys were in their prime. All those guys, Cristiano, Marcelo, Cruz, Casemiro, they were all fully in their prime. These guys are not in their prime. Like Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Bellingham, none of these guys are really in their prime. So it is unrealistic to expect of these guys to say what's up. And remember, that last UCL, it was the veterans who said one last go around. So they used their veteran ability to really push them through. Modric is done. He's finished. Like, these are just like the fumes. Kroos can still give you something, but Modric is finished. So they don't have the facilities, I think, to go up against a City. If they do, remember, they don't have to meet a City. But if they meet a City, this team can't beat City over 2 legs. It can't happen.
I have a question. Yeah. Didn't Real Madrid spend 70 million on Endrick? So is he coming next year?
Yeah, he's coming.
Next summer.
So is he their project number 9?
Yeah.
Yes. Isn't the guy like
long term?
Okay.
Yeah,
what? You want Mbappe before him?
No, but when you guys talk about long time, we're talking about a guy who's like 20, 21. This guy isn't even 18. He's 17.
No. That's the whole point. That's why they wanted Mbappe along with him. Like he'll be a development type of player.
Like Vinicius was
70 M's is a lot though. So
no. But see, because Mbappe doesn't.
The next Rodrigo. The next Romario.
What the?
Because I actually do feel that if Mbappe comes, it's an issue. He is not a striker. His best position is where Vinny plays. And what do you now do about Vinny?
That's what I always say to him.
You know, Real Madrid is missing. Like it's also like they don't have a natural like right winger, or they don't have anyone that could literally call that their position. And I know there's a lack, but with a team where you're trying to create balance and everyone you're telling to play on the right wing, there seems to be a lack of that position being their natural position. It's almost like
Z-Man.
That Kubo guy is nice. Isn't he like?
Oh,
doesn't Real Madrid does like?
Yeah.
Chelsea.
No. Wait. What happened? Let me come to AK. AK, talk to me. AK.
I mean, I have a question for Z-Man. Like, do you think they're gonna buy back Kubo for like the 30 million that was quoted?
I generally don't know if they are, but he has been performing well. My thing is like Kubo, like for what he has at Real Sociedad, which is a team that lets him start week in, week out. And if he wants to take the next step, I don't see why he would go to Real Madrid, where he's going to be most likely a rotational player.
Rotation, and also,
it doesn't make sense for his career.
If you're the Japan team, if you're a member of the Japan team, you want him to stay at Real Sociedad because you're like, bro, let him cook, let him develop, so that when that 2026 World Cup comes through, we have a guy who is playing consistently for like a mid-tier, tier 2 team. It's good because Zeman is right. You want to guarantee start at Real Madrid.
Because if I'm looking at
AK.
I mean, on Joselu, I mean, people are telling me that he's the best Spanish striker right now.
Nah, Iglesias.
Enrique
Nah,
Iglesias.
Morata is still better. Come on, man.
No, Morata's still the number one.
Morata's still better than that.
Morata over
No, but see,
Yes.
that just shows you why Spain are down bad. So hold up. So we went from David Villa, Raul, Fernando Torres to Morata, Enrique Iglesias, and
Morata doesn't Morata have more like Spanish goals than like
yeah.
Nah, I think they play Ferran down the middle now.
I mean, I think.
No,
Morata's the captain.
Wait, hold on. AK, go for it. AK.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think Joselu, he's a toilet, but he has his uses. He has his uses.
What does that even mean?
No. Okay, see, AK, let's not do that. Like, he's not a toilet.
That's crazy.
See, AK, that's Giroud. Oh my god.
Drop the brick. Nice job.
Okay, AK, continue.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, he will play well for Madrid. He'll probably get like 10 to 15 goals, but he won't light the world alight or lead them to a UCL. I think they need Vinny to increase the goal output, Rodrigo to increase the goal output. They need at least a double digits from Bellingham. That's what they need. They need double digits from Bellingham because they can't have a midfielder who doesn't score goals with the lack of goal scorers they have. I think fullback wise, I know he got skinned in the first half today, but Fran Garcia in the second half was very good. 2 crosses, especially a second one to Joselu. That was a very good cross. But if I'm being honest, I think Madrid will get to the quarters or the semis, but they won't win the UCL. I think if they win, they can win La Liga if they're able to keep consistency. But with Carlos' record in the league, I don't know if that will happen. I mean, they're missing a number 9. Even if you didn't get Mbappe, someone why didn't they go for Kane? Even someone like a Kolo Muani who actually has that ability to interplay between the week and
you know what's funny?
Because here's the thing though. In modern football, you don't need that 25-30 goal number 9. You don't need it.
Jesus.
But because my thing is that if everybody else combines, which is what Simon was said, it's just good to have that presence there. But here's the key question though. Can you rely on Bellingham, Rodrigo, Vinny to consistently get those goals?
I mean, they're playing with fire. It's a big risk because Bellingham is for the first time he's playing for Madrid in the role he's playing. He scored a lot of goals now, but will he continue the streak? Who knows? And Rodrigo, for me, he's not a goal-scoring winger. Vinny is more of a goal-scoring winger than Rodrigo is. And Vinny himself is not a winger, I say. He's not like a Salah. He's much more of a touchline winger for me. So it's a very hard, it's a very risky thing that Madrid are trying to pull, trying to get goals from those 3. I think the defense this year, actually been pretty good. The diamond formation, if it's maybe not helping the attack, or it's definitely helping them defend better.
Best in the league.
Yeah, and on the Kubo thing, I think Real Madrid can get Kubo, but I think if they get Kubo, they'll have to sell either one of Gula or Brahim Diaz.
Yeah, because Gula would definitely be. That's their main project player.
No.
He's another attacking midfielder that can play on the right hand side.
All I think is if Gula flops, I think they'll go for Kubo, but Gula's only 18, so we don't know how he's gonna develop. So I don't think they're gonna go for Kubo, but I think, in my opinion, Real Madrid for me has always been a team that they left a stockpile. They just love to buy players because they're very good, not think of a solution to the team and buy them. They love to buy players because they're very good. That's a solution. That's a good way of recruitment. everybody has their ways. So maybe that's the reason they'll buy Kubo, just because he's a very good player and he's an addition to a great squad. But if he goes there, I don't see him playing, especially in a diamond formation, if it continues.
Let me quickly take some Dubinsky's, man. So shout out to Miss B Nation Reacts, man. Thank you for the dub. Joselu would do much better than Miss Jackson. 100%. Like, I don't deny that. I would swap him in a heartbeat. And of course, he's better. But we're talking about Real Madrid standard. I don't think he's Real Madrid standard. That's what I was saying. Ling, we aim to lose. When Gorilla lives, we'll rise again. Wing, good for you, bro. Good for you. Keep thinking that will rise, man. Thank you for the dub. Just 3. Only Real Madrid, City, Inter with a pep. Oh, wow, interesting. Yeah. So Inter have won all their games. Wow, interesting. But again, it's still early days, though. It's still early days. But yeah, like, I mean, because what's more worrying is City. You see, I know Real are going to lose games. Inter will lose games. But City already having a 100% record, that's worrying. Because if they are starting well, and you know that these guys know how to be consistent, it's bad news for the rest of everybody, man. 14 UCLs. If Ancelotti wins UCL with the low, is that, I think he means Doi. Oh, hell yes. Like, if Ancelotti wins, forget about the low. If he wins UCL with this crew, with a geriatric Modric, a cross on his last legs, a Dani Carvajal that can barely walk, that would be an outstanding achievement.
No Courtois or Eder Militao as well. That's crazy.
No Courtois. Kepa in goal? Rudiger in defense? Nah, I can't see
Yeah,
how.
That was the question I wanted to ask you. We won the UCL. Last season, we were 90 minutes away from the final, won the Copa del Rey by humiliating Barcelona. Listen to me.
Don't say that.
Listen to me.
You go beat here.
Ages, listen to me. We won the UCL. Then we won the Copa del Rey by humiliating Barcelona. Okay, we lost the league, but we were 90 minutes away from the final. And then now this season, again, listen to me.
You can't see the next with the final. You got pimp slapped and colonized. Like, you have to mention what the score was.
But we were 90 minutes away from the final.
This guy
got slapped up.
This guy thinks
as the champions. As the champions,
you lost, and you lost in a shocking fashion that nobody foresaw Real Madrid getting beat that badly. And no, do you know why that's important? That's important because you see, Real.
Winter tax?
No, he said it's because of the World Cup. So normally you're saying that. So no, on the record right now. On record right now, no, are you saying that if full strength Real met a full strength Man City over 2 legs, you would beat them over 2 legs?
It would have been so bad. That's what I was saying. We would have physically been better. We were physically finished.
If Real
we were exhausted.
If Real at full strength Real, do they beat City at full strength over 2 legs in a quarterfinal? Yes or no?
Of course we could. Real Madrid, 14 UCLs. Physically, we were at 100%. We could do anything. Physically, we were finished. We were exhausted. We were done. There was nothing left. Even at the Bernabeu, they couldn't beat us, right? We were done. There was nothing left in the second leg.
That was away, though. They were
that was away.
But that was the first leg. So and Pep showed throughout that he had a strategy for the first leg away and a strategy for the second leg. And no, you can't use the World Cup excuse. Weren't City players also at the World Cup as well?
Yes, City had the most players. They had the most players at the World Cup.
Participants in the World Cup. They were the most tired.
They're a state-owned club. Look at the resources. Look at the depth.
Oh God, man!
Bro, you're an empire-owned club.
Stop making excuses.
It's no, I can't. I can't. Sure, wait, hold on, Jacko. Are we going to talk about Greenwood's debut? He was balling away. So.
Yeah, did you know?
He won the corner that led to the
win.
We
need to relax.
Yeah, did you know that the Osasuna fans were telling him to die?
That was crazy. That was crazy.
All right, I know. So Minecraft the Diamond. I see Kuba as a Salah replacement. Thoughts? Hell no.
No, he's not like him. He's like a totally different profile.
And also he's a different profile.
That output is crazy from Salah. I don't think you replicate that.
So no.
Why doesn't Real Madrid go buy for the money they have for Mbappe, go buy Saka as a right winger? Because he would go. That's Real Madrid.
I don't know if Arsenal would sell him for that. They just extended the contract as well.
Wait, so let me
They would have to
so
spend
Real
money.
Madrid forced
They asked him
UCL.
for 200 million.
So
That's
Nomad,
crazy.
we also lost the league by a ton of points.
Exactly, winter tax. That's what I was saying. The season got disrupted,
Wait,
right?
hold up. Didn't that also apply for
It is
Barcelona?
what it is.
Okay. So Barca didn't have any players at the World Cup.
We did.
No. I'm asking. No, I'm saying. So Nomad, Barca, who won the league by a ton of points, did it have a ton of players that went to the World Cup? Is that what you're saying?
They had an advantage going into the winter, but after the World Cup, we were in different. I mean, we were in a different state, right?
So you're in the World Cup
before the World Cup.
Barcelona.
No, both the teams before the World Cup, and after the World Cup, it changed. Everything changed. That's what I'm saying.
Nomad.
That's like saying
Nomad. So you're admitting that the World Cup changed us because we had many players in there that are actually participating in it.
It affected different teams differently. I mean, you could never say that.
I mean, it affected Robert, right? Robert Lewandowski.
Yo, man. What is his excuses, man?
That's a great point. Nomad, what about Lewandowski? He literally pretty much ended his career after the World Cup. He was literally a no-show. So Barca had to figure out how to get points when Lewandowski literally was a no-show after the World Cup. So it affected everyone else as well. So you can't just say it's only affected Real Madrid. It makes no sense.
Yeah, come on, man.
Affected by.
Yeah, what the hell? Okay. Well, so okay, let me hit this thing. So guys, so people who've sent doves about Chelsea, I'll read those doves when we get to the Chelsea section. Suvik Day says, HH, what's your favorite Soundgarden song? So guys, again, this is my Soundgarden jersey, one of my favorite bands. I would say Zero Chance, Blow Up the Outside World, and I'll say Day I Tried to Live. Probably those are my three. Great band. One of the best.
Is that from the 80s?
I don't know who that is.
No, early
1984.
Seattle Tax, man. Early 90s. Basically, they were around the same time as Nirvana, Pearl Jam, and all the dudes, man. So early 90s Tax.
But who the hell?
You're into the hipster bands, huh?
Yeah, no. Wait, Zimo, don't call me a hipster. Zimo, don't call me a hipster. Don't do that. Zimo, don't do that. Zimo, don't do that.
Okay. Man said Nirvana and then some unknown, like, he knows about it. Like he's a connoisseur.
Like we would know who those people are.
Look, you guys are young. You're young, man. You're young. Okay, well, what's it called? Artist, is your mic working there?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So, Artist, here's the thing. So, now, tell me if this is right. Arsenal were scouting Modric for about 3 years.
Oh my God, HH, let it go.
So if you're scouting someone for 3 years and a team, for whatever reason, takes them, isn't it only right that we right the wrongs of the past? So let's right those wrongs. Wouldn't it be fair if there's a Trossard Modric swap? Chelsea never wanted him. We only got him due to Twitter pressure. And Twitter pressure is not a viable reason to spend so much money on a player. Arsenal actually had proper scouting for several years on this player. Chelsea never scouted him. Chelsea only did it due to Twitter pressure. So Chelsea wanted Trossard. That was the guy that we wanted. But we only got more due to Twitter pressure by the numbskull, dim-witted, idiotic Chelsea fan base who said that Modric is the next big thing, and they were cheering when he was bought. So my thing, RDS, is that, first of all, why can't we get that swap? And also, do you feel a realistic Arsenal title challenge? And how good is your boy Trossard?
It's a shame you didn't tell me about this on the previous stream, because I would have been able to sort of preload receipts before the show. So unfortunately, I don't actually have.
I'm glad that I didn't.
Yeah,
so.
no, yeah, and unfortunately, I don't. I would like to, because
fortunately, yes.
No, because I think what would have been ideal is if you could at least release the track of. I think it's the Mad in the Mud track. The Mad in the Mud track. So if you release that album, that pack, then you might actually get the answer to the question. Because if I recall, when Modric signed for Chelsea FC, I didn't see any complaints from Chelsea fans and yourself. I heard that Modric was going to
What have you
cook,
done?
and to be honest, I heard one of you Chelsea, not you specifically, but if Abdullah, if you're hearing, I listened to a stream. I heard one of you guys saying that this guy was a Ukrainian Neymar. That's what that's what that's what
if I said that, I would shut down this.
That's why.
If you caught me saying such a I'll shut down because they say whoever use the word Neymar and Ukrainian in the same sentence should be jailed. That's a prison sentence. Will continue.
It wasn't.
Those were private conversation, man. You don't need to.
I know. Kenny, it wasn't you. It wasn't you. I back you, Kenny. You know, so Kenny, you're smart. You know, Kenny, you're smart. It wasn't you. So, but anyway, so the point is that like, you know, at the time when we just signed, let's not be revisionist, HH. Let's not be revisionist, Chelsea fans. You guys were lording it over Arsenal Football Club, saying you're the bigger club, little bro. Blah 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 blah. Where's your Champions League and so on? When you bought Modric, that's basically.
There's only one guy that said that.
WDS. And on top, and then you're getting Trossard. You know, guy. Modric. He's played the Champions League. What has Trossard done? He just plays for Brighton. Blah 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 blah. Fine. Okay. Fast forward how many months later? I don't know. I'm scared to know how many goals and assists that Modric has in 2023 since he signed in January. I don't know. I have a feeling.
Zero.
Yes, 2 assists.
Zero.
He has 2 assists and 0 goals in 9 months. I mean, to put that into
no. Artist, see my thing because artist. See, here's the thing: the receipts that you won't mention is I clearly said, and there is evidence that between Trossard and Modric, I'd go for Trossard because I said that go for somebody who is at least proven over an unknown, and I said that's
fair.
Okay, you know what? Let me be fully transparent.
Was this
But this is what happened. So
was this before?
When it was between Trossard and Modric, I was like, I'd rather go for the proven guy over a guy who is unproven, and also I saw his highlights and I wasn't impressed. Fair enough. When we got Modric, based on me being hyper and I'm a very excitable person, I was like, yeah, big bro, little bro. But I only did that because I like to make people laugh and I like to entertain people. I like to put smile on people's faces. So it was for comedy value. It wasn't me being real. If I was being real, I wanted Trossard. And my thing, though, artists, they were scouting Modric. Take him. That's the guy you scouted. Take him. Let's swap. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, but like I said, the problem is that you know, it would have been. What I would say is it would have been a good idea if you posted a video saying you didn't want Modric, as opposed to releasing like several mixtapes saying that you like having him in the club. That's the problem. So if you just could go back to that time and say, listen, we don't want the Ukrainian Neymar. We don't want him at the football club. We want Trossard instead. Regardless, at the end of the day, Arsenal got Trossard. It happens, you know. What's the name? Pep Guardiola.
No. They dodged the nuke. Just say
they
dodged the nuke.
Man City wanted Harry Maguire. People forget this. Pep wanted Harry Maguire.
You're lying.
No, I'm not lying. He wanted Harry Maguire.
Yeah, he wanted Harry Maguire.
But they weren't prepared to pay 60 million.
Yeah, the same thing with Fred as well.
You wanted Cucurella. He wanted Cucurella.
He wanted Jorginho.
You wanted Jorginho as well.
The difference.
There's a lot of players.
Jorginho in that system is fine. Maguire in that system?
Yeah, but no.
He might have balled out, AJ. We might have been speaking.
That's right. He might have balled out.
Wait, hold on. Artists.
So the point is, at the end of the day, this song's happened. Like City wanted Maguire, but they weren't prepared to pay over 60 million for him. United paid over 80. They got the player, and it is what is this was what happened. So it's not unusual, unfortunately, you know, for when you're competing in a club, you know, as you said, HH, Chelsea are the big club in Arsenal. They have more funds. You outbid Arsenal. You got your man, and now we have to deal with the consequences.
Wait. How many UCLs do Arsenal have? Like, is it 12?
So Arsenal have 0 UCLs. You're right. The problem though is that like as things stand right now, Chelsea.
Oh
Chelsea,
no! No! I don't do that. No, artists don't do that. I don't do that.
Don't
do that. I said, how many do they have? I didn't say that. Who plays on Tuesday? Yes, we don't play on Tuesday and Wednesday. I get it. I get it.
No, but yeah,
artists, you're so cheesy.
It's okay. I won't cook. I won't cook because we got a whole hour Chelsea session to go.
Yeah, I don't want to touch Chelsea.
I'm here for that,
bro. Kenny, you see what this guy did to us?
Okay. Artists, continue.
So anyway,
man, if I speak, man, now.
Kenny, you should have been on the previous stream. I was bigging you up after the receipt that I played, man, because you were.
I had the receipt. I had the receipt.
Yeah. No, it's wild. RDS is
no. But look, can Arsenal? Do you think Arsenal can go again? Can they go again? Because I think because here's the thing. Because I just don't believe Arsenal can outlast City. They can't do it. And also with this goal, I just think they can do it. But can they?
The thing is, like anything, it's like you can't really say this stuff now because literally the only competition that we've been playing is the Premier League. You have Arsenal, unlike last season when they're only playing one, they're basically only playing in the Premier League, and they were knocked out of the Carabao and FA Cup tournaments fairly early on, actually. So from effectively January, they were just focusing on the Premier League. This season, obviously, they're going to be in Champions League. Let's be real, they're probably going to qualify from that group. They've got a fairly decent group. They're going to be stronger for the Carabao, FA Cup, etc. So the point is that it's very difficult to say whether they're going. I don't think they will, because I don't think they've strengthened their squad enough to be able to compete well in all four competitions. That doesn't mean I think they're going to be 7th or 8th or etc. I think they'll still probably finish in the top 4. But I just think it's just going to be difficult. It's going to be harder, given that other teams obviously have improved. Liverpool have improved. It looks like Spurs have improved. Brighton obviously getting better, etc. And obviously the additional games, So it's going to be difficult. I'd be very surprised. But at the end of the day, they will still show improvement compared to they did last season. That's all you can say for Arsenal.
Where's United, by the way, JH? Well,
so who wants to jump into this? I'll start first.
I do.
Zeman, talk to me.
You see, Arsenal, what's their goal this season? For me, it's they don't have to out and out win it, but they have to be able to challenge for the league title as well as win a trophy. Because you can't go this long without winning a trophy. You're in year 4 of your project for success, so I'm expecting at least a trophy. It doesn't have to be the EPL. It could be an FA Cup or Carabao Cup, and then you challenge and you make it as far as you can in the Champions League and not necessarily win it. That'll be a step in the right direction, but then again, trophies are going to be asked of them. And I feel like with this whole Trossard thing, listen, man, Trossard is one of their best players. He could play multiple positions. He's not necessarily narrowed down to one position. And he's a perfect player off the bench. And I do think once the games start running in, we're going to see him more in the starting lineup on a consistent basis. But again, for Arsenal, that's their goal. That's what they spend money on. We could talk about is Kai Havertz a fit. I don't think Declan Rice has been as bad as everyone thinks he has. I think he's done his job. Bare minimum, that's what you ask for a guy that costs 100 plus mil. But I look at the squad and I think that right now it's up to Arteta. Arteta's job is this is where Arteta really shows how good he is as a manager. I mean, challenging for the league should be the bare minimum. It shouldn't be can he? It should be the bare minimum. And then winning a trophy has to be the bare minimum. Just a trophy has to be the bare minimum. It can't be it's okay. City were just better than them. How they shouldn't have won it? No, he has to at least win one trophy. Nobody's asking for the EPL. We understand that in the EPL, Man City are gonna dog walk this league. But if you can get as close as you can to them, that's the expectation.
So Zimmer, if Arsenal doesn't win a trophy, he should be sacked.
No. For me, he's failed. It's a failed season. I know he's not going to get sacked, obviously, because the board are in love with him and whatnot. Of course, they're not going to sack him for having a poor season. But that would be considered a poor season. That's a very poor season. You can't go 4 seasons without winning, with only having one FA Cup to your name. Like,
wait, hold on. Wait, did you say that Rice was doing badly? Some people in the streets are saying he's doing badly.
No. I said he did.
It was on the
He's doing his job. He was doing his job in terms of
worth 100 mil. But is it worth 100 mil?
Yeah. That's the thing. For a guy who's worth 100 mil, he's barely doing. He's doing his job. Expected. But again, it's about the way they're utilizing him, and I do think that in the midfield, they don't have as much glaring weakness from what I've watched compared to what they have in terms of offense. Nketiah, I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro. As decent as Nketiah is, he can do, he can be a good sub for you when you need, when you have tired legs. But if you really want to be like, if you really want to like take yourself to the next step, I don't understand why they wouldn't invest in another striker. Gabriel Jesus is good, but again, can he bring you GA on a consistent basis? And I do think that Gabriel Jesus would actually work wonders with a striker as well. It's not like it's one or the other. So for me, in terms of attack, they still have certain frailties, and then the defense, it's about one injury or another. But for me, it's like the expectation should be to win a trophy. One trophy. Nobody's asking them to win the EPL now.
So if they win a Karabuki, that's a success.
No.
Second, and a Karabuki.
No. Success for me, success is like this, right? First of all, for me, it's the FA. I mean, the FA is more important than the Karabuki. But if they end up winning one of those trophies and they end up challenging Man City and going far in the Champions League, I think that's a success.
Hold up. How far in the UCL? How far in the UCL?
Well, if they come up in the quarterfinals against Bayern, I'll be like, you know what, that's just Bayern. Like, it's like I don't expect them to win that tie, even though it's 50-50. If I'm being honest, who would win that tie? But for them, it's like making it to the quarters, competing with quarters or semis, depending on the draw. Let's be honest, you could get an easy draw, then there's no excuse. And then for them winning a trophy, that's progressing. That's progress. That's not that might not be the greatest season, but that's progress for them.
So to interrupt you, Z-Man, just for the Arsenal, if there are any Arsenal fans on the panel in the chat, like just with a history of the club, like what's wrong with this Liga guy, man?
I swear.
What happened?
This guy.
What did you say?
Wait, what did he say?
Wait. Is Ligona the anti-Arsenal guy or the bald guy?
Yeah, the Chelsea guy.
Yeah. No. Basically, no. It's not the board guy. No, Ligona is not on AFTV. No.
He's not on
yes,
AFTV.
Okay, just he's the guy who's like really anti-Arteta.
Yeah, he does. Stuff like that.
What's he done recently?
Nah, it's just like he's recently just posted like a long ass post about basically just if you have like a better probably crap and stuff like that and all the rest of his stuff. So no doubt the dude would be saying depression doesn't exist and stuff like that as well. So, but I'm just saying, it's just like if any is this like part of Arsenal culture or something, or is it? I just don't get it.
No. I think that guy is on the whole thing.
What if, like hypothetically, right? In the league, I did say that they have to compete, but they don't necessarily have to win. They just have to win cups, and then they have to win something. But in the league, if they happen to be, let's say, in the same position again, where Man City goes through a little bit of a rough patch. Before you know it, Arsenal are like 6 points ahead of them or 7 points ahead of them, and it's already February. The expectation would change from there on. It would be, you have to win it now.
It's true. Second time round, yes, my thing through. But Simon, my thing though is, again, people call me crazy. I am not expecting or putting any pressure of Arsenal to win the league. I'm just not, because again, and I know we disagree on this, Arsenal overachieved last season.
I don't think they overachieved. I think they're showing that they achieved to their level.
No, of course they overachieved. Ziman, before
compared to the prediction, they definitely
before last season, did anybody have Arsenal challenging City to the title?
Yeah, but
so they overachieved.
No. Again. Expectations.
Let's not do this debate.
I'm back because I would say expectations.
Okay. Here's my thing for Arsenal. Here's my thing. Look, I believe that Arsenal should, you want to look to improve, so you have to go again. You overachieved, so now that overachieving is now behind you. Okay, you're now that team. We know that you can actually challenge these guys, and you've gotten better. But I just thought of something. Here's my Havertz to the defense. This is what Arsenal should do. You start Trossard. Trossard is for the league. Do you know that Havertz has always been good in the UCL? Yeah. As trash as he's been for Chelsea, Kenny, you could be with me. In the UCL, he always seems to actually show up.
He's come
so
clutch.
If you're Arteta,
he's come clutch.
Use
Havertz. He doesn't play Trossard and Havertz in the same position.
Yeah, he plays.
Trossard is the backup to Martinelli, and sometimes he plays strikers.
Yeah, he's a backup to all three positions.
Here's my thing about whatever the case may be, Havertz just doesn't work in the league. He just doesn't.
Yeah,
that's what he played Vieira today, didn't he? He didn't play Havertz today.
See, for me, I feel that because Aris made a point, you have to use squad now, because now a UCL is now something that you now have to use, and you have to have a setup for the league and a setup for the UCL. You have to now know guys who you can rest and how guys you can use. So I think Havertz messing up in the league might be a blessing in disguise, because you do have this weird thing of where guys do really well in one competition and not so well in another competition. Now, I may be wrong, but I am going to say that if Havertz plays in the UCL, he'll probably perform better in the UCL than he does in the league. And what I think is going to be a question is true, which was what Ade said. How is the UCL going to cope? Because do Arsenal have the kind of squad that, let's say, City have, where City can easily walk on all three fronts very easily? Yeah. Can Arsenal walk on all three fronts of Cup, League, and UCL?
When is Timber?
No, I do think. The Timber I think is till the end of the year.
That guy is
but I do think that they can rotate in Nketiah, in the cup, so you can play Nketiah, that you can play like a Trossard, or you can play like different midfields. I do think they have a squad. It's just that some players might get injured. That's the thing. If they get injuries,
are they playing?
Partey is usually injured. Jesus as well.
And then they got.
So who are they playing in the Carabao Cup? Is it Liverpool? Is it? I can't remember who they got.
Brentford, I think.
Oh, Brentford.
Because we play Brighton. I know that. I think they play Brentford.
Yeah, Chelsea play Brighton. Yeah.
Liverpool hosts Leicester.
Yeah, but but quickly on the Arsenal thing, and specifically the Trossard, I think most people knew that Trossard was a better player right now. But the thing is that a lot of these transfers, sometimes I don't even want to judge, especially the Chelsea ones, because right now the team is so poor that I don't even know if it's the players that bad, or it's just the environment that is making the player look worse.
Kenny, can you judge Modric now though? Can you judge Modric?
No, you can't judge Modric. No, obviously you can say right now it's poor, but if he went to Arsenal and then he would be balling, and then now you would, you do better, and then now you'd be saying, oh, why didn't you buy him or stuff like that? That's why I'm
Kenny. Now again, we don't know. We just don't.
So
basically, if Modric went to Arsenal, do you think that we'd actually see, oh, this is actually quite a player?
Yeah,
I think it would. Yeah, it'd be way better, because obviously the structure is already there and it's not a mess.
Okay. Yeah.
And the thing and the thing is that over there would have a place. Arteta, they really made their job on him, so he really wanted the guy, so there was a reason for it. But the thing is that right now at Chelsea, the guy's barely played. He's been the guy's been here for 9 months. I think he's had 4 different coaches, 4 different managers. That counts. The guy doesn't even know the language and all that stuff. And especially when you just come from a country where he's over there, you need a stable environment. And right now Chelsea is not stable.
You see what Caicedo,
especially for young players.
Caicedo for Ecuador is really good, but then when he comes to Chelsea, he's just a brick man. It's all of our players.
Anybody else on this whole Arsenal thing before we?
Yeah, me.
What's that?
Wait, HH, can I speak on this?
Okay, what's it called? Gallagher FC. Go for it, and then AK.
Yeah, for me, if Mudryk went to Arsenal, he would do better, because he's more of he's like a certain profile to Martinelli. He's quick, very quick. So he would go behind, he'd do well in their system. But all of our players, they're just not. There's no system over here. We're just playing vibes. And for Arsenal, I don't know about them. They're very weird. They're they did better points wise all of these games last year. They did better this year than they did last year, which is surprising. I think they got like 13 out of 15. And last year they had 12. So it's kind of weird. They're doing better, but they're playing worse. So I don't know about them.
All right. AK, talk to me.
That's actually a good sign, actually, if you think about it, because you're doing better.
Yeah.
You're doing better by playing worse. So if they actually start performing, then there'll be a problem. So
like the quintessential thing to league winners is, can you win while playing badly? If you can win while playing
City.
badly, and then go, well, that's always the key. So okay, talk to me.
I think, Trossard for me, in my opinion, he's not Arsenal's most important player, but this might be a very, 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 very hot take. He's Arsenal's most talented player in terms of what he can produce, because he has right foot.
That's a big shout.
He has right foot, left foot. He can play all across the front line. He can play as the most advanced midfielder in either Odegaard or Havertz's position. He can take free kicks. He can take set pieces. He's very creative. He's a goal threat.
That's an interesting one.
He's definitely the best finisher.
But then it's again, when you say talented, then you have to say what's criteria. Some people will say talent is based on just how good you are ability-wise. Other guys will say how many different positions can you play and what are your different skill sets. Because in terms of who is the best footballing talent, I'm looking at Jesus. But if you're saying that the best talent in terms of multiple positions and skill sets, he might have a point.
Yeah, like he can play
versatile.
He can play
versatile. Versatile.
Most versatile. He can play any position across the front line, in the midfield as well. Like he's a perfect player to bring off the bench. That you want a guy to bring off the bench like that, and I don't know why Chelsea went for the UNICEF Robin instead of him.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
I know we'll get to the
we'll get
but
to
you know what Boehly has done is a crime. Do you know that Chelsea have been a meme for I think the last 8 months? Literally for the last 8 to 9 months, Chelsea. We'll get there. Okay, continue.
Okay, fine. Not him. I'll call him the Chernobyl Bale. How about that? But anyway, I think on Arsenal, I still think City win the league. I think it's between them and Liverpool for second and third, because for me, I have a sneaky feeling Liverpool are going to do something. I think I have a sneaky feeling Liverpool will challenge. Because they just, even if you look at their performances, they were very good against Villa. In the second half against Wolves, they were very good. I think Liverpool will do something. It'll be between them and Arsenal for that second spot. Because I don't think anyone will, beat City. I think City are just too good.
No, okay, I got to stop you right there. This might be... I truly believe, HH, that Liverpool might win the league. I truly believe Liverpool might give City a run for it. Can I explain?
No.
If you look at, I know, and I understand that you saw City winning nonstop in their depth, Julian Alvarez, Haaland, whatever. But I don't know why. I just see Liverpool replicating what they've done in the 19 and 20 season.
Yeah, but Delta, how? No, but Delta,
you gotta balance midfield.
But Delta, my point is that there is not a single Liverpool fan alive that will tell you that this team is anywhere near as good as their 99 points team.
Well,
if you actually look at City, they have more depth than they've had before.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They have more depth
than everything.
Exactly.
And also, so Liverpool, it's not as good. They have less depth. So unless something miraculous happens, again, we can't predict the future. But how can you say on paper, Liverpool, this team can somehow surpass.
I
Also,
mean,
we
maybe
hold on. We even have Elijah here, a Liverpool fan.
No. PSG. Thank you for giving me some hope. I want to thank you for that.
No, but I'm not saying they will.
But no.
It's a great.
Your point. I totally understand your point. The only way that happens is two things. City goes in this remember in 18-19, I think December, where they literally City guys were dropping like flies, and unless that happens, and then and it's now instead of we win a game, they win a game, we win a game, they win a game. It turns into a back and forth, and City has injuries. That's the only reason I see us winning the league. Outside of that, I'm okay with second place because that'd be great for the team.
And also as well, they have to put this in mind. Sadio Mane was key.
Oh yeah,
Firmino was key.
Yeah,
I don't think that's Firmino. I don't think Diaz, Jota, and Nunes can do what Mane and thingy did.
No.
You never know.
So look at this.
No.
I think as a collective, maybe.
You see, Kenny. Now you're disrespecting what Firmino and Mane was.
Yeah.
No, it's not disrespect. No, Mane was very good. No, but Diaz is a very good player, and I think that Jota. I think that
do you believe that Luis Diaz on a consistent weekly basis can do what Mane did in that 1920 season?
No, we don't know that yet because he's been injured. But from what I've seen, the guy is consistent. You have but the thing is that you have Jota and Nunes as well. There, you have Gakpo. So I think that as a collective, they can replace what they've done.
That's not their issue.
Let's look at. Do you really believe that with
It's not our issue, by the way? Attack is not our issue.
Their issue is their back line. Their issue is their
but you've clearly seen that scoring goals is not the issue. It's clearly like the midfielder.
Again, thank you. So my thing is that Liverpool. You see, people look at those goals they scored, bro. Do you know how good that defense was?
Yeah,
they hardly conceded.
Yes,
that defense was amazing. And my issue is that
18 times
you're putting too much pressure on because again, the attack may be good, but if you keep on conceding and if your defense isn't great, you're putting way too much pressure on Salah to either score or to produce.
Mm-hmm.
So and also you see guys, I'm sorry. See, someone said it in the thing. Let's keep it a stack. Unless Man City have an injury crisis, nobody can stop them.
Coutinho said that.
Yeah, of course. Of course. No, as long as Pep is there, and his team is fully, no one's stopping.
It happens to every league he goes to.
Even if Pep is there, let's say Pep is there. Unless they have a major injury crisis,
which
Haaland
they did.
goes down.
They're having it right now.
Nah, I don't think it's
having
that.
it right now.
No. Okay, I'm talking about
De Bruyne, Stones. De Bruyne, Stones.
December. HH, give it to December. I see it in December. Something an issue like this happens.
Let me bring up the scenario. Let's say if Haaland.
Wait, hold on. Delta.
Yeah, let's say if Haaland tore his ACL. God forbid. I don't like pushing injuries on any player, but let's say if that happens. HH, would you say outside of Man City, who are the obvious favorites, obviously, would you say Liverpool might give them a run for their money? Now that if you look at Arsenal, you don't trust Arsenal. If you look at Tottenham, obviously you don't trust them. They got a winning mentality. So it's obviously Liverpool.
It's Delta. Do you know why?
Why is that?
What Pep has built is a team that's not dependent on anybody. So let's say you take out Haaland. That means Alvarez is now the main point of attack. It's actually suits the system better.
Alvarez
and also, the thing about City is everybody can get it. Bro, there was one season when Gundogan dropped like 16, 17 goals. So Haaland, basically, that's why it's Delta. I say it has to be an injury crisis. One player doesn't stop City. See, Liverpool, Salah goes down, Liverpool are screwed.
So Buzz why?
Liverpool are screwed. Like for Arsenal, Odegaard goes down, Arsenal are in serious trouble if Odegaard goes down. But for City, there isn't a one player who goes down that can shut them down. No,
can I say
that's what I'm saying.
3 or 4.
Can I say something?
As long as Pep is here, he's done. Like right now, they have De Bruyne and Stone injured. If that was any other team, like people would be crying. You don't even notice that De Bruyne and Stones are missing. You don't even notice.
Wait, hold up. I'm gonna get FC. What's it? Gallagher FC.
Yeah, let's just keep it a sec. Unless Pep Guardiola is out for 5 months, they're winning the league. Unless he's injured, nobody else is winning the league.
Yeah, it's true, 100%.
No, but it's just one final thing. So you brought up Alvarez. Now I understand Haaland is a brick and all, but at the end of the day, the guy can get a goal out of nothing. Is Alvarez that guy who can score a goal out of nothing, even though he's having a bad game? Because let's look at Haaland last game. That guy missed like 5 big chances, right? And he still scored a goal.
Delta. No. Delta. City broke the goal scoring record as a collective without Haaland.
Yeah,
they broke the goal scoring record in the Premier League as a team without Haaland.
The thing, even if Haaland is like, however, he's still gonna get chances. He may not get, like, he's still gonna get. They're gonna create chances with or without Haaland. They're not dependent on like Haaland like that.
They've won the league,
guys. Yeah,
they've won the league without him.
Right without the striker. You know how stupid.
They won the league without.
So hold on. Let me bring in Abris first. So Abris fair. Arsenal's issue is they have no leaders or veterans. You have a young manager with very little experience. Arsenal are basically toddlers being coached by a teenager. You see, Zeman, here's the thing. Because this is a very key dub.
Yeah.
If Arsenal are in a situation where 7 games to go, 6 points ahead, I don't believe they can do it. Because I believe that he's what's it called? Arteta's inexperience and the inexperience of this team, because it's still a very young core. There's no Patrick Vieira here. There's no Tony Adams here. There's no strong core. It's just a very talented young team. So, and the issue with a very talented young team is when that pressure comes through, what are you going to say? Let's keep it real. I know that it was a fairy tale story. Vardy came into football very late. There were some pretty old guys, hardened guys who were still quite older, who could deal with the pressure of let's keep going as Leicester. So for Arsenal, my thing though is who are the experienced guys? If 6 games to go, 6 points ahead, can you maintain focus and see it through?
No. But HH again, if you're 6 points with like 6 games to go, there is no excuse for you losing it. You lost the last time, so what's your excuse? You've been in this situation before. If you can't deliver, that says a lot about you as a manager. That says a lot about you as a team.
You have to learn from your. Yeah, you have to learn from your mistakes. Like
you can't make it twice, man.
No, Kenny. It's no. Man. Okay, I can only go via my thing. If we are in that situation and Arsenal mess up, I'll be like, all right. But I got to be honest with you. I'm not going to go in on Arteta or Arsenal and be like, okay.
No,
you seriously. No, you have to. No. If it happens again, if it happens again, no, you can't just give him a pass.
We can't
do that.
You gotta be sacked on the spot.
Ignoring, bro. You're 6 points, and you can't tell me they have been in this situation technically.
This would be the 3rd time they balled.
They balled top 4 last year, and then last year the champ. Like, I'm sorry, you can't be saying, oh, it's a young. You can't be saying it's a young team.
His head has to roll. I'm gonna keep it real.
No, but
see, I'm sorry. I can't hold it against a team who've not won a league since. Is it 05?
No. But then when can you hold it against them?
Yeah,
you're just gonna keep saying, "Oh, they get close. It's okay."
No. Yeah, so you're waiting for this.
Okay, Zeman, here's the thing. Okay, this is what I'll give you. You know what? Okay, I'll change it up. You see, I believe last season you overachieved. Cool. Now, okay, you know what? If let's say Arsenal, okay, I'm with you. If this season you come to that position, as much as I'd say that it's Arsenal, I'm like, look, I'm sorry. Last season, 93% at the top. I feel that if you're in the same position again, even though you've not won a title since 04-05, I will still say, come on, guys. You've been here before. You should get it done. So I would be a bit critical of if you were to mess up again, literally a season afterwards, if you're in the same position again. But at the same time, if they were in that position, I just wouldn't have faith in them doing it. If you now switch it with Liverpool, and Liverpool were in that same position, I'd be like, oh, I think Liverpool can do it. Because they've done it before. And they've really...
Wait,
but you won't not...
It's like this, right? It's like
Zeman.
Pretend Chelsea. Let's just restart. I know you guys are like 14th, right? Pretend Chelsea were this close to winning the league. They bottled it with 93% of them being up top, and then the next season they're 6 points ahead, and they bottled it again. There's no way you're gonna come in and be like, I mean, they're young. They're a young team. Like I didn't expect them to do this. So it's nice try. You would be pissed.
But Zeman, Chelsea have won
imagination.
But Zeman, Chelsea have won the league more recently than Arsenal.
But this Chelsea squad is different. This Chelsea squad is different. The same thing with Arsenal. This squad is different.
Chelsea. But Zeman, that's my issue there. I don't give a damn. It's still Chelsea Football Club, and therefore there are expectations from the fans. You see, from Arsenal fans,
which are
you are in no position to expect
what do you mean?
to win any league.
Why? What's that supposed to mean?
I think
what do you mean? They have the second most leagues or third most leagues in what are you talking about?
I think we should move on because this debate happened last time. It would have about an hour or so to speak. So
hold on. So Suvik Day, Man City loses the league if Pep gets injured. But
no, it's half the roster.
Just coach in hospital because I know that he had a back surgery and everything. So just coach in hospital. So Abrit Fair again. I see Zeman's point. If they had just done their job, it wouldn't have mattered if City scored 100 goals in the last 10 games. Arsenal, if they lost themselves. You see, my thing that angered me about Arsenal was the manner in which they lost. You see, Liverpool lost it twice by a point. You know what? You did your best. So that's why we were going to win it. That's right. So I think Pep said that his greatest ever win was the 97 points.
Yeah.
Because of how they pushed him all the way. Now, it happened again, but that's because I think that thing of 1997 was crazy. My thing about Arsenal was, bro, it is the manner in which you gave it up. Mm-hmm. The manner in which you gave it up. It's like, come on. Southampton at the crib, West Ham away, Nottingham Forest.
And they were in winning position as well. That's the thing.
Why? No, not acceptable, bro. Okay, so guys, let's just get this. Okay, so look, here's the thing.
Yeah, HH, can you go ahead and pull up my AVI, please?
Man, we in big trouble.
Oh, the Chelsea.
You think? So guys, here's the thing, man.
Yeah, so you guys are you guys are on strike. Your cheer is hey hey, ho ho, Poch and Boehly's got to go. Hey hey, ho ho, bring back the homie Abram O.
I'm not gonna lie, it's better than Chelsea.
Yeah, no. Okay, look, here's my thing.
Is that going to be on the mixtape next?
That's going to be on the mixtape, man.
How much scrolls before we get to it? 2, 3, 4, 5. All right.
You see that?
No.
The two mid neighbors.
No, okay. My thing though is, if you're a Chelsea fan that's of any worth, surely you have to find a way to get these guys out of this club, Boehly and Clearlake.
We gotta go
man.
Because I've been thinking about this all day, and I said, wait a minute, something is messed up here. Because guys, let's all be on the same page. Streets in the pan. Let's all be on the same page. These guys are not here about winning. Let's be clear here. Because this is what I tweeted out. No football club in history has ever had this kind of recruitment, ever. So you guys are coming from American sports. You have no football experience. Bayern, Real Madrid, Isma, clubs with way more experience than you in football have never ever in their history dedicated $1 billion into youth players. Do you know why? Because it's stupid. No one does that in football. Now, it may work in baseball, it may work in basketball, but nobody in football, for like a big club, dedicates the bulk of the recruitment on young players. Do you know why? Because the nature of football, experience is very important. And you have to win through experience. So people say, oh, how can you spend $1 billion and not be able to beat Nottingham Forest or Bournemouth? But there's context there. What do you spend the money on? If you spend 5 trillion on a bunch of young players, youth prospects, 1 trillion, you'll find it hard to beat a Bournemouth who have a bunch of experienced guys, veteran guys, chemistry guys, because that's just how football works. Okay, football isn't about, oh, I spend money and I win. So why I just find it crazy, and I look at all these Chelsea fan channels on there, is do you think this is acceptable? Like, don't you see what is happening? Though in the contract, it was said that they have to spend a certain amount of money. That's what Abramovich said. These guys have just spent it because they just feel they need to spend it. Which club in history signs guys for 7-year blood pact? Then I have dim-witted, idiotic, stupid Neanderthals on Twitter who said, well, we have to get them early so no one else gets them and we have to sign them on 7-year contracts because these guys could be good. How many young players turn out to be amazing? Again, my question is, there has been no club in history who has bought a bunch of young players on 7-year contracts. Do you know why? Because in football, you never know what can happen. Bro, you see it in Football Manager, like the default is like 3 years, 4 years that you get given. 4 years is really a max. 5 is extreme, but really 3, 4 years, let's review. 3, 4 years, let's review. And most of the times, the player doesn't work out. 3, 4 years, okay, jump ship, boom.
Bro, even in FIFA,
so if you do this on a 7-year contract, 250,000, and it turns out to be crap, or better yet, a manager comes in and says like, no, this player doesn't work on my team. You still have that guy stuck on your books. You still have that guy stuck on that wage. And the score just gets much more bloated and bloated and bloated. So my thing though is, can you see the complete stupidity of what these guys have done? So it's so stupid, it's so dumb, it's one of two things. Either it's a bunch of, it's these guys bringing an American model that clearly doesn't work, or it's an inside job. They just wanted to ruin Chelsea for whatever reason.
Can you bring up the player list? The list of all your players?
Okay, I don't want to see that list ever again, bro. I don't want to see that list ever again. Okay, sure. Let me just hit these Dubinsky's that I missed out, and then I want to come to Ardis on this time. So where are we now? Okay, so I don't really know what this is about. The situation is more of an inside job than 9/11. Oh God, okay. Todd Boehly administration out. Boychester divided in the mud as well with the Fergie blood too. But see, here's the issue.
Is that you in that image?
That's me. Yeah,
I think what celebration was that?
No, see, my issue is this: is that
he was drunk.
We can't really say Boychester divided. We can't. I'm sorry. The main meme of the weekend is Chelsea. It should have been United, but nobody's talking about United. It's about a team who spent $1 billion and are 13th. And I've had 3 wins in 6 months. Like, guys, this is like, but guys, you have to use context. $1 billion, 6 wins. $1 billion, 6 wins. That's surface level. But because we're in the panel, let's go context. $1 billion on what?
But
people will say like, oh my gosh, $1 billion. How can you do it? But if you spend $1 billion on young, inexperienced, unproven players,
orphanages, essentially,
you're not going to win anything. It's not about spending money.
Orphanages.
What are you spending the money on? And these clowns, because here's the thing, guys, we crack jokes, but I think it's real. This is a clear tanking of the season model of process.
That's why I said on the stream yesterday. You bought a 1 billion squad, but the squad value is not $1 billion. So you just bought a lot of these young players off of potential, and you have no guarantees. There's no guarantee in this squad. No one.
Bro.
The only guaranteed player that you bought probably of this 1 billion now is like Nkunku. Like what is going? Like you're just buying.
Or maybe like an Enzo. Maybe Enzo and Nkunku. Maybe
I forgot about Nkunku.
Yeah, because he's injured. Well, like, most of these guys like is unproven guys, and then you're just piling them up, and then you're hoping that a manager is gonna all of a sudden is gonna.
Okay, but Kenny, but this thing that angers me. This thing that really just pisses me off. So see when you take over something, there are certain standards. When Moyes took over United, it's like, bro, this is the house that's Fergie built. So there are certain standards that need to be met here. And that's happened until United were like, okay, look, we obviously can't do what Fergie did. We now have to rethink. But Moyes, Van Gaal, Mourinho were all about, we have to maintain the standards that Fergie built. So my thing though is, you saw the standards that Abramovich had. Why would you come in, see that the mode was win, 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 and be like, no, we're going to now do a process. Why? Why did you have to go through a youth recruitment orphanage process based on how this club was being run for 20 years? How? I don't understand. Wait, let me read these old ups. Half up snow bunnies. What the heck? UNICEF contacted Chelsea to inquire about Jackson's age. Reports of 31 came out after his first month in UK.
That picture is crazy.
And Todd Boehly eyes another donor.
I'm pretty sure.
Look, I did. I was in
you were enjoying yourself.
So Boehly made Arsenal buy Trossard instead of Modric. Look, I don't know how he missed out on that, man. Half-hope snow bunnies. White players can't perform at Chelsea. Modric went out with Cholobah, then realized it was Chuke Maker, and didn't pass to Jackson as he thought it was so good shoot. All right, okay. More iconic duo: Zad and fast food, or Chelsea and mid-table?
That's a very difficult question.
Oh dear, man, that's
I need to stop seeing that fucking AV of that Jackson shot. Yeah,
bro, that was Lukaku-esque, man. I'm not
I agree with you. When that happened, I laughed out loud. Like, it was so bad, bro. Like, basically, it's the kind of thing of where he could, but that's the issue. That's the kind of thing that if I'm a manager, you never start again, because that's something that you see in Sunday League. And this guy doesn't play football. It's fine. How do you attempt to? Do you know the guy was about a few yards away from goal? And look, let me know, man. Let me know. Thank you for the dog, man. I feel sorry for Kenny, Eddie, Abloy, and etc., but not for you, HH. It's typical. I love to see you suffer. Again, why? Not only is it entertaining, but you never learn your lesson to be humble, even after last season's humbling. Actually, no, let me respond to this. You see, that's why I'm to my wit's end. You can't beat Bournemouth? Bournemouth! You see, my thing is,
Kenny did try to warn
surely
you.
You can beat Bournemouth.
Kenny did try to warn you.
It's a freaking Bournemouth. Because you know what? It was a test. I was like, no.
That's a trademark.
Let me put all my jinx there. Let me see if these guys, upon everything, because I know how Bournemouth, those guys are garbage. Those guys are. And when I said no, that's garbage. So I was
they could have won.
Social experiment. If you, with all of the money that you spent, you can't beat Bournemouth, it's disgusting. And also, guys, did you hear the crap that Pochettino said? Injuries. We have so many injuries. And that's why I said forward.
I mean, we do have like 10 injuries. The injuries is crazy.
Kenny, sorry, just
it's Bournemouth.
No. So Kenny, you're saying that even with all those injuries, all those players out there, you can't beat Bournemouth? Kenny, do you know how bad Bournemouth are?
No, but you see these players out there. Like you're playing with a 19-year-old Ugo Chukwu that was barely playing in League One last season. You're playing with. You're playing with. Most people in there.
So Kenny as well. This is the key thing. Now we have to be real. When was Nkunku injured?
Bro, before the end of
the last game of the last game of preseason.
Last game of preseason. So, and how many weeks were then left for the transfer window? About 2 weeks. 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had 3 weeks knowing that this was a long-term injury. Why didn't you get a replacement in those 3 weeks?
They got Cole Palmer.
You got Cole Palmer.
They got Cole Palmer. See, like, what's up with this bullshit?
No, but
respect Palmer, man. Come on.
Bro, did you see what he did today?
If you're saying a guy who City disregarded this guy, he's never started I don't think he's ever started a Premier League game.
Nope.
He has 0 Premier League experience, next to nothing. He's literally so you got a bit part player to replace one of the future stars for France.
No,
just
bro,
think about that.
Bully, you know what I'm thinking of.
Wait, hold on. Kenny.
Okay. All these guys that they rate, all this is potential. Like Nico Jackson has 1 year in like six good months. Modric had like 6 good months as well. Like most of these, I like Enzo. Enzo had 6 good months as well, and then he had the Great World Cup, yeah. And then how do you call it? Disasi that most people nowadays they call disaster. We don't know why. and then you have Robert Sanchez in goal, who actually saved us today.
He did well, yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
Can I talk about the Chelsea thing, man?
And quickly, and then you're playing a centre back at left back that never played left back in his career. And look, did you see that bench today? Did you see the bench?
16-year-old.
I'm like, because I'm like, we spend the billion, but you have a bench of like 16, 19, like 17-year-old. Like, what is going on?
Okay. Sorry, before I go to RDS, you see, we spent, I don't know how much we spent, but I remember it was the first season with Ranieri, with the Abramovich money.
He's stuck.
When you look at all of the guys, these were guys. So even if you had injuries, that bench would be like, oh yeah, I know him. Oh yeah, I know him. Oh yeah, I know Matej Kezman. Oh yeah, I know that Romanian. Wait, what's the name of that Romanian guy who was done for drugs? Mutu. Yeah, I know Adrian Mutu. Yeah, I know Damien Duff. So I know Crespo. So you knew these guys. You're spending all this money on people that nobody knows. Nobody knows any of these guys. All there's like, yeah, potential. And I keep getting DMs of like, man, have you seen this guy? He's got good potential. So this is just potential FC. RDS, talk to him, bro. RDS. I'll come to AK. RDS. And then, RDS.
Okay. Let me just, I need to kind of speak with this kind of in the background, if that's okay. So I think it's really important that what we say is done in, because obviously I've done my cooking already on the post-match stream, which you're willing to sort of to tune into. So, and I'm sort of slowly building up a level of receipts over the season.
So, but this also goes to the Aisha, have you seen Chelsea's fixtures for October?
Yeah, well, exactly. See, so I think it's important because we're saying all these things, and I think one of the questions that I've asked, Ken, it's good that you're here because maybe you might be more insightful and give me a response. Because one of the questions I asked on the previous, which I didn't get a response to, is I want to know exactly how many points Chelsea are going to get from now till December and whether we're going to be getting to double digits. Because I look at these fixtures here, and because of the struggling to get points against Forest, against Bournemouth, against...
We're not beating Villa.
You've got Brighton, let's be real, Brighton probably knocking you out the EFL Cup. Fulham away, I mean, how's Willian? Well, it depends, because Willian dunked on you guys last season,
Bro, he's 35.
Well, I mean, and he still dunked on you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not confident that.
Burnley away. Okay, Burnley aren't doing well. Maybe you can get something from that game to not doing that well.
Well, losing Arsenal.
And then what? Arsenal at home, Brentford. Is that really going to be a dub? Spurs away, City, Newcastle, Brighton, and then United. So we're now in December now. So I can count. Maybe you might be able to get. Let's say you get a win against Burnley away, at a stretch. So you mean? And right now Chelsea have 5 points, right? So you're telling me that now in September that Chelsea FC come December are going to have 8 points? Is that actually where because you won't actually breach double digits by December? And effectively, we're talking about being in the relegation battle. Then is that where we are?
HH, are we gonna get relegated?
Okay. Let's be real. It looks bad. It looks bad.
I don't know. So I want to ask the question: how many points?
Okay.
Are Chelsea FC gonna have by December?
Okay, how many points?
If he has 8 points by December, he needs to get sacked. Get that guy out of the club, because if he gets out and we still go down, no, I don't care. Just bro. Please, nobody but Lampard. Please, nobody but Lampard.
No, but you see, artists, okay, I'll be with you. It is scary hours because confidence is a very key thing. And what I think is happening is these guys are like, I think this is happening again.
Yep,
psychological. So it's a psychological thing because again, this is what I said again. Let's talk football. If you spend $1 trillion on young, inexperienced guys, they're not going to do anything. So you can spend how much money you want. If inexperience is inexperience. But my point is that what is the logic of this recruitment from Chelsea? That's what I want to know. What's the logic here with the recruitment?
If you want to be real, because I agree with you, I don't really get this under 25 thing. Because if you want to be real, aside from Thiago Silva, who you can't be relying on a mid-30s Thiago Silva
Broke his
to
back
do
today,
everything.
Let's be honest.
Me too. He's almost 40, man.
The guy's pushing 40, man.
You know, so
he's
we're
early
pushing a
40,
40.
man.
So aside from him, where is the okay, maybe Sterling, could you say, good with the experience? But aside from that, where is actually the experience and leadership in this team? That's the worrying thing. Because if you take out Thiago Silva, plus or minus sort of Sterling, there is no experience or leadership in this team.
And also, Aris, it's a very key point because you see, for me, I know that you're old school as well. You see, these new school guys, they don't think that captain's armbands mean anything. So it's a very new school thing. But Aris, we're of a time where like, no, the captain, that means something. Yeah. It's hugely symbolic because it's a psychological thing in the dressing room. Also, if you've played on a team or anything, the captain,
exactly,
the guy who wears the armband, it's a psychological statement of what the team is about. But also,
but also you're right. But also the fact that like not even just the captain, but I mean, you know, we can be nostalgic. You know, I go back to United teams. You have Schmeichel, who's as a captain, but you don't just have Schmeichel. You've got Keane, you've got Stam, you've got guys
like Steve Bruce,
etc. You've got all these dons, you know, so who you know these guys aren't going to clown around. They're not going to. And when the youngsters come in, i.e. the class 92, etc., you know that these guys have mentorship to ease them into the team to sort of get into play, etc. Right now, Chelsea, you're flooding this squad with players under the age of 25, but they've got no mentor. They've got no mentor. Okay, we're clowning. I'll be serious for a while. We're clowning Modric. Okay, fine, but who is Modric really leaning onto or learning onto to actually try and improve his game on the field we can look at to? There's nobody there.
Boy. And that's the whole point. When you look at this, when Brentford, Arsenal, and everything, you have old, experienced guys all peppered around. And you see, my thing is, football is all about a balance. You see, I'm not one of those guys that say, "Oh, experience," but experience is something because when you've played the sport for a long period of time, you know the little things within the games to do. Oh, I know how to get a foul here. Oh, I know how to pull a guy here. Oh, I know because your brain has been doing this for so long. You know those little things in order to be able to get just an edge in a game. But you could be the most talented person in the world. If you're young, you don't have the experience to do those little things that can give your team an edge over 90 minutes. Yeah. So if the core of the team is young, why would you give Conor Gallagher the captain's armband when Thiago Silva's on the pitch?
No,
why?
Do you know who's the longest server at the club?
Sorry, I'll just finish your point, Kenny. I'm just fun. And also just out of the points is that one also the dangerous thing sometimes when you have sort of young players that like when you're older, you know, like things you've often experienced hardship. There's no, you know, whether it's the Messis, Ronaldos, etc. You've been through seasons where you're like, that was terrible, that was bad, that was sort of, but you've also experienced the highs and you've come through it. So that's the benefit of experience, is that like you've experienced crap, you've experienced many moments, but you've learned from it, you come through it. The problem with when you just have a team that's just full of youth is that if you have so many young players that haven't experienced negativity, the way they don't have the tools and the means to actually get out of it. And the worry, as I think has said, is that like when we look at those fixtures, it's going to be very easy for this Chelsea's team to get into a mentality of like, we can't get out of it. We're losers. We're not good enough. I'm not saying Chelsea's going to get relegated. However, relegation battling is a mindset because teams come into a mindset of like, we can't see ourselves getting out of the situation. We can't think of how. And so you either change the manager to get a different mindset in, or you bring in additional players to change or whatever. And that's difficult to do at this stage. So at the end of the day, so obviously Kenny to speak. At the end of the day, like if I'm Chelsea,
yeah, I will. So Alice, let's say I'm complicated. So if you were a Chelsea fan in this situation, what would your psychology be? So this is you. Well, but you're a Chelsea fan in this situation. What should your reaction be to what everything that's happened?
I'll change my username to Blue Lion Studio in a second, you know, so to try and help.
Yeah, go on long.
Bring Blue Lions back, you know. So that's what people are saying. Actually, we would, you know. So bring Blue Lions back, man. So maybe you guys need Blue Lions for a bit.
All right. What I wanted to quickly say is, the longest 7 at the club right now is Reece James. Reece James are like, I think what, like four. Wait, Reece James,
Kenny,
3 or 4 years.
No, Kenny. I need to see, if October goes like how we think, I need to see this, bro. I need to see this.
Reece James that 3 or 4 years ago was a youth player. Now he's like your longest serving player, and he's your captain. Yeah, you have like, and the thing is that a lot of these new guys, they have no experience, and all they've experienced at Chelsea is finished 12th.
And also,
it's trash.
It's very clear here. We just talked about Real Madrid. You see, I was one of those guys who said, Modric, your legs are coming in there. Kroos, your legs are coming in there. You need to go. But even if Modric ain't what he was, he is important to still be there for Bellingham and Tchouaméni. Because it's not about what he does on the pitch. It's off the pitch. So Bellingham, Camavinga and Tchouaméni, seeing Modric, seeing Kroos, seeing Carvajal, these guys who we've been here for a long time, we know how things work. We know how to win. We know how to grind.
That's why the youth project is working.
That's why it's working, because you're getting a youth.
Meanwhile,
project can't work if you don't have those experienced guys to say, this is how things work day to day. If you clean out all of the experienced guys, Kante go, Kovacic go, all the guys go, Rudiger go, and just bring in these young guys. These young guys, okay, who are we leading towards to say what's up? What's a
no example?
There's no example.
No, this is
AJ,
always
can I
been a
speak on
problem.
this?
Zeman.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, listen, man. Everyone out here coming up with solutions and whatnot, but I'm just looking at the league table, and you guys have as much points as you scored goals, which is 5 points, 5 goals. Like this is like, is this what you guys are aiming for? Like just to score as much goals as you can, as you can get points.
We just need to out
three of them against Luton. Don't forget.
Three against Luton.
Yeah. And also, man, it's like, here's the thing, right? When you have young players, they're obviously going to be inconsistent. Hoping for young players to be consistent, it makes no sense. You're putting too much pressure on them. They're going to show you their talents here or there, but they're not going to be that consistent player that you need week in, week out. You can't be reliant on them. And I just look at as much as everyone wants to say like Nico Jackson is not the solution. He's not this, he's not that. I just look at him and I just think to myself, like, I can't blame him because again, he's a young striker that was supposed to come in and be the understudy of someone else that's more experienced, not have the lights on him consistently.
Wait, hold on. No, Simon, sorry, but I have to ask you this though. And I think same thing I also want to ask to Delta. Just from an American perspective, because obviously you're in America, you're an American. From an American perspective, look at, I know they had issues with them, but the way that the Arsenal guys rolled and the Liverpool guys rolled, even the United guys, they haven't rolled how Boehly have rolled. So
no, it's
an American thing of what Boehly is doing, or is it just a Boehly thing? Because the way I want to ask is that I want to ask. Wait, hold on.
Look at Elijah coming in.
The problem is he probably has a baseball mindset, which is like let's be extremely data driven. To the point where we recruit youngsters, we put them. He's even brought a second team to put majority of these youngsters in through, and then bring them into the first team and bring them into the EPL, and then just facilitate that throughout years. Just have it be a consistent, effective system. I think that was his idea.
What's that
lightsaber? I don't think he put into consideration that when you're building a squad, you can't just build it around young players and expect them to be leaders immediately. Young players around young players is the worst case scenario. If they have no mentorship and you're expecting this much pressure put on them, and you're expecting the manager to also deliver with that, all you're doing is
no. But again, thank you for this. He's a baseball apparently. So FSG apparently are baseball owners as well.
No, it's different. It's different.
Yeah, but
you can't build a future without having a present. That's a fact.
Can I speak?
We have no. Hold on, Zeman.
No, that's exactly the problem. This guy went to the extreme end. That's exactly the problem. And I think Todd B, mainly because, there was contractual, obligation that he has to spend like $1 billion on the team and building a squad. And my problem is he spent all of this on freaking bringing in youngsters and expecting them to deliver. And that's always been the bottom line problem with Chelsea. You can't keep saying this youngster is poor, that youngster is poor, when you're surrounded by nothing but youngsters. And here's the thing: how's that gonna develop them? The success rate with youngsters, particularly in your situation where they're surrounded by a bunch of youngsters, there isn't really that much experience around them that they can gain knowledge from. You're putting them in a tough situation where they have to be results oriented, making it to the top four, trying to make it to a Champions League spot, and they're also some of them are being hampered through their development because they are the bench option instead of getting week in, week out games. So you put all those things into consideration and ask yourself, how much of these youngsters are going to truly end up flourishing? I think there's very few. You'll be lucky to have 3 to 4 players that are going to be consistent, that are going to be starters for you throughout this campaign. And here's the thing: he can't tank a league. He already tanked the league last time. How are you going to tank it again? I don't think that was a part of the plan. The part of the plan was, you know what? We tanked it. It is what it is. We're going to take a hit. We're going to end up building our team to be successful. And that's what they've been trying to do, remove the old players. But they removed them too fast and brought in too much new players. You can't move like that. This isn't career.
See, man, you know what's scary is that at least at the beginning of the season, Tuchel gave them at least a bit of a buffer, which they needed to basically stay in the league.
No, they don't have that.
Now that buffer doesn't exist anymore, man, and we don't.
Wait, can I speak on this?
So, let me come to Guled and then AK. So Guled, to talk of this, and then I'll come to AK. Guled.
Yeah, HH, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, big up to you, big up to everyone, man. HH, man. We have to be completely honest with ourselves, right? I've actually accepted that we might even finish, if we are lucky and the stars are aligned, I think we will finish top 10 if we are lucky. And I'll tell you the reason why, HH. I've accepted that like 3 weeks ago. The reason why I say this,
second game of the year.
No, I have to be honest. We have to call a spade, right? The reason why we got the accolades we have as Chelsea fans, we won the trophies and so on, is because we had an owner that wanted results right now. We've used that theory of winning right now, no matter what, for over 20 years. The issue that brought, even though we got all the trophies, is the fact that the books were never balanced. It was an issue of, if you want to win right now, you have to get the biggest touted talents that are firing on all cylinders. It doesn't matter how old they are, whatever they need, regardless of their wages or demands, get them in, let's win something. That was the philosophy that we live by as Chelsea fans, to be completely honest. So now that everything has been given to the so-called American owners, we have to be logical here. These guys are trying to set up a philosophy for this club. I know the philosophy looks bad. I know it looks like we are following, pardon my French, but we're getting kids, as you guys are saying, from orphanages and whatever. That's how you guys may see it. But we never had a philosophy for over 30 years in Chelsea Football Club. It has always been, let's win right now.
That is true.
And to be completely honest, even though we can see that there's going to be a lot of pain, a lot of anger, and a lot of frustration, because if you're going to make a big change like this, for it to take effect, it's going to take time, logically. We can fight it, we can shout it. It's not going to change anything. The facts are facts, right? But we also have to think about this, guys. Is Chelsea Club a philosophy-based club? The reason why I asked this question is, we saw the transition that happened with Man City. Before, the Arabs bought them, you could see there was a philosophy that they were trying to build, which was they were trying to move up in the ladder and be consistent in the Premier League before they started dominating, right? When Pep came in, and before even Pep, let's say Mancini, Pellegrini, and so on, you could tell that the philosophy was mainly possession-based. This is why Pep Guardiola fit in as a glove, like literally he fit in like a glove in Man City, because the basics were already built for him through Pellegrini and Mancini, right? For us as Chelsea Football Club, the issue that actually scares me is not our position this season, because I know things are going to take time, if we're going to be completely honest. The thing that scares me is that is Chelsea Football Club a club that can be taught a new philosophy? That is the $1 million question.
And also, good answer to add is, will the fans en masse accept that?
You know what, HH? The fans, I don't know if you saw the game today. I think I'm sure you watched the game. The fans were chanting from the beginning of the game until the end, to the point that you thought as if we were Man City, to be completely honest. They never gave up on the club. They've always been backing them. And today it was actually abnormal to see what I saw, right? But to be completely honest with you, HH, when the game finished, they started booing them straight away, which means they do believe in the project. They know it's going to take time. I'm talking about the logical ones, not the NPCs. They do know it's going to take time, right? But realistically speaking, HH, are we a club that can be a philosophy-based club? This is the thing that scares me, because if we look at Man United, I'm glad RDS is here, HH. When you said it, I think in the last stream, you said when Moyes came in after Fergie, what was the problem? He finished 6th. They couldn't believe it. They kicked him off. They brought in world-class coaches like Van Gaal and Mourinho just to plaster the wounds, quote unquote, right? And bandage the wounds in a sense. This is why when Mourinho said, this is my biggest achievement, finishing 2nd, it's the same issue, which is, this is why Ten Hag is struggling now. They're trying to throw money, just like we used to, under Abramovich, on the problem. And it's not working. They brought in Ten Hag to bring a philosophy. Within the first 4 games, he woke up, he smelled the coffee, he started meeting Fergie, having secret dinners with him at night, for a reason, because he realized that you cannot teach this team a philosophy. You have to bandage the wounds. Luckily for us, we had Eminalo, a guy that knew football in and out. This is why he is duly missed, not only in Chelsea, but in the footballing world, because this guy knew what a pure talent is. We don't have that now. We are trying to balance the books. We are trying to bring in a philosophy. The $1 million question as Chelsea fans is, we can finish 10th this season, or even the next season, right? But are we going to succeed? This is the scary part, HH, because we have always been known to be a defensively stout team that can do well in counterattacks. This was our philosophy for over 30 years. We had a brick wall in the defense, and nobody could pass through, and somehow, some way, the players up front will find a way to win. Is Chelsea football?
But my question to you, like, do you think the fans en masse will accept this new strategy of it's young team, youth team, and the philosophy is young, youth, build for the future? It's a process, and not so much pressure on winning, and let the young kids develop.
HH, it's gonna be like a slap in the face. I'm sorry, Chelsea fans. I know some guys might, have mental health issues, or even, resort to drugs. But guys, you have to be logical here. I'm talking to the NPCs and the so-called normal ones. You guys have to accept this. And HH, what actually made me believe this? Today, in the post-match interview, if you watch what Pochettino said, they asked him, what do you think about the fans? I'm sure that the fans are going to have a pushback and actually not be happy with the results. Do you know what Pochettino had the audacity to say?
What is it?
He had the audacity to say, HH, that I don't care about the fans. He said, I don't care about the fans. I know I'm doing the right job. I'm very positive. My team is positive, which means his coaching staff. So for him, for a guy that we know, quote unquote, is not an alpha man, for him to have the big cojones to say something like this, when they're going to actually show it on Match of the Day, and all the millions of Chelsea fans are going to watch this bullshit, that means he heard this from upstairs.
Wait,
Boehly and Edvard.
No, go ahead. Like sorry, what I said, it's no surprise. I said it again, Guled. They would have never sacked Potter. Those guys didn't sack Potter, the fans did. If the fans didn't keep on pushing, they'd have kept him. They didn't care where Chelsea was because they're like, no, as long as the team doesn't get relegated, boom, this is our guy for the long term. Hence why once they sacked Potter, it's destroyed all of their long term plans. Them getting Pochettino was, we want you to develop the young players. Forget about winning or doing well. We just want you to help develop this young team because this is what we're about. So for Pochettino, it's like, screw what the hell the fans think. I'm just here just to help develop young guys. So there is no pressure at all. Pochettino is not working with any pressure. So all that crap he said before the season started, that was all PR. I know this is Chelsea.
Can I speak on this?
I don't know. I know it comes to just one quick question, just because his point is that, do you think, and just the Chelsea fans, do you think that because of how badly last season went, that the expectations for this season have changed so much so that almost Pochettino almost has a free hit this season, i.e., like if Chelsea finish 10th or 11th or 9th or whatever it is, it's seen as no big deal. Even if they perform,
they'll get criticized.
Is that from the fans' point of view or from the owner's point of view?
Sorry, from the owner's point of view. Sorry.
Oh no, yeah, he'll free hit. Yeah.
From the fans,
you missed the point I said. If Chelsea had finished 16th last season, they'd be fine. Because
I don't think so.
Kenny,
No.
I truly believe that for those owners, they were like, we know what it's about. Potter kept on saying that, like, that's why Potter was never. He never seemed like if he was under pressure, because the thinking was, we have changed so much. We get that it's going to be difficult to implement something new. So have as much time.
No, they do. No, they do. But still, the thing is that I do think that all these Chelsea fans that are thinking that we're challenging for the year, you guys are crazy thinking that they're expecting.
No, that's not.
But the thing is that there's still a certain level that even like when you spend that type of money, they're not expecting you to win.
But what is that, Kenny?
There's still a certain flow.
That doesn't make sense though.
Hold on, AK.
I mean, for me, it's what is the expectation of Chelsea fans? Because we can all say this. You can all say what we say, but would owners whose idea is not to win now spend 115 million on Moises Caicedo? Staunchly spend down Moises Caicedo? I don't believe it.
What if they had to spend it? Remember, what if they had to spend a certain amount?
They had to spend a certain amount, but for me, it's like this. If your vision for the club is long term, we don't look at right now, we want to develop young talent for the future, you don't spend 115 on Moises Caicedo after Liverpool bid at 111. You just say, okay, Liverpool, you can take it. We'll find someone else from the depths for 40, 50 million, 30 million, and we'll try to develop.
This is crazy.
We'll try to look at someone else who's 20, 30 million and develop him. You don't spend.
I'm going to answer you. Okay, I'm going to answer you.
Yeah, you don't spend.
Wait. Okay. Good. Your response to that now, boss. Okay. So what's
quickly? Can you put the Lucky Sings comment?
No, I can't. I'm good at it. What's your response to that?
Yeah.
No, please. His last comment, please. Can you put it there? Can you please? What he said?
Yeah. Okay.
I won't. I will not.
I'll answer.
Oh my gosh, man.
You remember one thing that is very crucial that people seems to forget. These guys know how to get the fans on their side. This is literally an illusion. And I'll tell you why. Chelsea Football Club was known to spend money since the Abramovich era. We never had an issue with money, right? To the point that even Abramovich, before he left, he actually left, I think, was it 500 million as an emergency fund. He froze it as an emergency fund so that if Todd Boehly takes over, he said to him, no matter what happens, if you have an FFP issue or whatever, and you need any sort of financial help, the money is there for you to be.
What a good guy.
Yeah, exactly. But with Chelsea, right, Boehly knows how media works. This is why he was
Yeah.
on Twitter Spaces, and this guy got to the level that he got to using technology. And you should know this is in the business world they call it the sleight of hand, which is you
And
show
also remember,
something.
I remember good at he's also from Hollywood. He's from Hollywood as well. So
Yes, it's the world of glitz and glamour. So he will show you what you need to see in order for him to get you on his side, and make you believe that he's going to make a change.
Yeah, but Goulet,
sorry,
wait,
Zeman,
hold on. Finish point.
sorry, Zeman, just give me 1 minute. The reason why I say this, right, because I've watched Winstanley and Stewart's interview. And if you listen to them closely, right, because they wouldn't actually say something that opposes Boehly and Iqbali's mindset. They actually said that when they started looking at this project, the two main aims, first of all, was to balance the books, and the second aim was to get to 100 points as soon as possible. Logically speaking, how does that make sense? How can you get to 100 points if you don't even have world-class established players that you're buying when you have the money to buy them?
Can we get to 10 points first? Can we get to 10 points?
No, but say, okay, you see the point that Goulet made, which is very key.
Yeah.
Because Modric is a perfect example. Arsenal were scouting him for months. And they were scouting him because Modric fits exactly into what Arteta wanted about. So Eddie was like, oh, this is a guy that I need because he fits for what we're doing about. Boehly just waltzed in, no scouting, don't know what the manager wanted, and he just got Modric because, wow, this is what everybody wanted. And by getting Modric, he won over the fans. Even now, to this point right now, there's still Chelsea fans who say that, how can you blame Boehly when he spends money? So no matter what happens, there are still people out there who will say, well, he has spent money. So now, do you know what the issue now is? It has to be the manager's fault. So there are more people against Pochettino than there are against Boehly because say, well, he spends money, so it can't be Boehly's fault. But sorry, AK, 2 points. AK.
For me, though, I look at Boehly and I'm like, if that's your point, what's the point of hiring a sporting director in the first place? Like, your point of getting Winstanley and Stewart and Joe Shields and all these guys is for identifying talent in places where others can't. That's what Brighton used to do. That's what they were doing at Brighton. So then you just override them, and you got the worst of both worlds. You didn't get the world-class talent, and you're overpaying on them. That's what Boehly has done. Because
AK, wait, go ahead. I'm just going to add this.
Zeman, you can.
Yeah, I was just going to add this.
Lukaku scored.
I was just going to add this. It doesn't make sense that you guys are saying this. On one hand, you're saying that there's no pressure on Poch. There's every pressure on Poch because we know Todd B. We know the way he moves in social media. And if he finds out that the fans aren't in favor of him, what makes you think he's going to stay around?
Yeah, but Z-Man, the problem is that like they're thinking about. Are you generally saying that Lampard is coming for season 3? Is that what you're saying, Z-Man?
No, RD.
Are we in a situation where Lampard is coming?
I'm saying, I genuinely don't believe that as much as you guys want to believe that Todd B has a plan and this is going to be a transition. What evidence is there that's the case aside from spending $1 billion on youngsters and bring them in and trying to do this overhaul real quick and trying to get to point A, as you said, in 100 points? What makes you think that he's taking the right steps in order to do so? Because what I see is a guy that's recruiting youngsters and the average age is 22. At what point do you start criticizing the process if you're just going to stick with it?
This is why I said the second part that I was worried about is the fact that is Chelsea Football Club actually a club or a team that could be taught a new philosophy or could become a system-based team? We've never been a system-based team, and you have all the right to ask us that question. But the reason why I said to you that Todd Boehly, the reason why I said Todd Boehly will never change his ideology is because, fair enough, Pochettino can have all the pressure in the world. But guess what? He's not going to change the plan he already gave the green light to. Case in point, out of all the sporting directors we had, who was the most experienced? Who actually did something that was of some sort of value when he was in Germany? It was Vivel. Why did Vivel leave? Because he saw the plan. No, think about it. He knows how to win. and build teams to win. When he realized that this guy's ideology is completely different to what he's used to, he's not going to sit down and start arguing with Win Stanley and Stewart, his co-sporting directors. He said, let me just pack my bags and leave. This explains why Kepa came out when he went to Real Madrid on loan and started saying, I don't believe in the project. There is a reason why these players are saying this, because we can play that, as I said to you, the so-called sleight of hand or the magic trick and just keep sacking coaches one after the other, but the plan still stands.
No, but
you've
invested 1 billion into the plan. You can't back
my
that
thing
now.
is that he was there for 7 months. 7 months. You hired a guy and you let him go after 7 months. Vivel.
Keep in mind, Vivel came from
But the thing is, they clearly changed the plan, because if you look at the first summer, the type of players they were buying compared to now is they themselves. I think they changed the plan between, because if you look at the first summer when he came, he was buying Sterling, Koulibaly's old players, Aubameyang and all that stuff. Is from how do you call it? From January. The Abramovich. And then from January it was and then that's when he bought all the Brighton guys, and then from them they just switched it. They started buying all these young players, all these Brazilians.
Let me bring in this dub. Hold on. So, man, thank you for the dub, man. Chelsea fans need to understand that sacking Poch won't change anything. 100%. While Clear Lake is still here with such a chaotic structure, just like you say, that man shouldn't stack Erik ten Hag with Glazer still there. Okay, see, it's different here. My thing is, these guys have because I think both United think there's no point in sacking them. So for Chelsea's point of view, it is what these guys want. Nagelsmann was ready to take the role. Chelsea were dragging their feet, and it was clear they were not very serious. What Chelsea wants a very particular kind of a manager. And the kind of manager that they want is somebody who isn't really ambitious, doesn't really want to win, or just wants to develop young players and wants to be the head of their young team. For United, the issue is really about the recruitment process and the structure of the club in terms of how they acquire players. Because if you sack Erik ten Hag now, that would now be what? Manager number 7. So that's a different problem as opposed to these guys just running a youth process. And what they want is a yes man. So if you sack Poch, they're not going to get like a top team manager. They want a yes man. That's what they want. And place A, HH, they chose 45 million Cole over 10 million Dybala. You see, that's my thing. It's like, you see, the Cole Palmer thing should be where that is where, okay, this is what it's about. 45 million on Cole Palmer. That's incredible. And think about this. You gave them Kovacic and you took Cole Palmer off of them. Do you know how psychotic that is?
Under 25.
Wait, hold on. So Ella 2.0. Chelsea might not get 40 points. Tuchel safety tax. Well, look, man, it is what it is. Okay, look, guys. Because people said this, let's just do a little preview here. So UCL. Let's go to UCL.
Are you going to do the intro?
It's already active.
Are you going to do the
No.
No big end.
We'll do it to raw. Pause. We'll do it to raw. Pause. We'll do it to raw. Pause. We'll do it raw.
Pause.
Look, I said pause. Okay, let me just bring up the fixtures, man.
I'm not gonna lie, the fixtures are kind of balanced, bro. I'll keep it in a row.
Just for those in the chat, this is when you have to put on your subtitles. Just for those in the chat, man. Just so you know, man.
You just have to. So now that's good. Milan and Newcastle. Early kickoff. That's a good one. PSG Dortmund.
Yeah, that's nice.
Delta, are you worried? Because if you can speak to nice biscuits, are you worried about Dortmund?
No, it will be Dortmund. Come on. This isn't Bayern. This is completely different. This isn't Bayern. This is Dortmund. I mean, they bottled the league in the last day of the season. I mean, come on.
Okay.
Even at the weekend, they almost bowled.
So Delta.
This is more important question. Go on. How many goals does Haaland get against Red Star Belgrade?
8 piece.
He's getting at least a 4 piece. At least a 4 piece.
I'm saying a 3 piece.
You know what's scary, HH? Before you go, do you predict Haaland to break the group stage record, HH? Looking at this group right now in Manchester City, do you think he scores more than 11 goals?
Wait, hold up. In the group or in the whole campaign?
No, just in the group stage. Because I think the record is.
I think he can get 10. I think he can get 10 because I feel he can drop 2 hat-tricks, a deuce here, a deuce there. I think he can do it. 11, I'm not sure, but I think he could do 10. He could do 10 in this group for sure, easily.
It would break. The only reason why it wouldn't break is if Pep choose to rest him. Maybe.
Yeah. If he does the rotation thing, because remember, Cristiano played every game, so Cristiano was never rotated. Barca against Antwerp. Ziman, what are you saying, bro?
We have to win, man. It's not even a debate. Man.
Xavi is on fraud watch if he doesn't.
No. We should win. I mean, I believe we have more than the only question is, are we going to go with the 4-man mid for a 3 attack? I wanted to go with the 3 attack, 4-3-3, just and these guys as soon as possible.
Felix is starting.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, he would start. I mean, like we don't have that much left-hand side. I actually want Ferran to start off the right, then Rafinha, but Rafinha might start. So it depends on where Xavi wants to go with it. But I expect us to beat them regardless of the lineup.
Hell yes, the freaking
that's
Nomad. What are you saying about Union Berlin, man? Worried? Nomad. What's it called? Okay, RDS.
That buyer, bro.
RDS is start cooking.
No, hold up. RDS. My thing though is okay. I get it.
While we're pausing on
subtitles, translation, everything.
Interesting.
But RDS now, okay, fair enough. I thought this would be a wicked way I could clown him, but it's fine. But at least all I want is for Wednesday. You know what? Okay, let me not jinx it. So I don't want to.
No. It's okay. It's okay. Keep on speaking.
No. Artist.
You already started speaking.
Artist, I did this content. So I'm going to say anything. So artist, what are your thoughts on? Because now, guys, I'm going to be real. I think United can do something.
At the Allianz
I genuinely think that United can do something.
Jesus,
so what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, they can definitely do something.
These guys are so shameless, man. Like, guys, focus on trying to beat Villa at the weekend, man. Okay, please, at home. Goodness sake, we can't have Ollie Watkins dunking on your club.
Can you just talk about Bayern? Talk about Bayern.
No, I mean, no one is. I mean, I'm hearing that Anwan Bissaka is potentially out. So, I mean, I've already kind of like.
Oh my God, man!
The injuries are already gone, so I've already signed on the fact that United aren't going to win at this game. We just don't have the players, I think, to do anything really.
So a Rashford masterclass in
no, there's no Rashford. There's no Rashford masterclass because you need more than one player, as Chelsea will know, to actually do a thing against an organised team like Bayern Munich. The only way that Manchester United will get anything from this game is if Tuchel becomes tucheliban. That's literally the only way since we started the stream. If the Taliban are correct, so like Tuchel becomes tucheliban, so then maybe United might get a draw or something from this game.
Okay, so am I the only one who thinks that United can actually get something in this game?
Yes.
Am I the only one?
Yes, you are the only one.
I'm on the fence.
But I actually think United can actually do something.
From who? Genuine. From who? Explain how they're going to get something from this game.
Okay, my thing. No. Hold up. My thing is that I think that look, if Tuchel defends and counter, and you use Rashford's pace,
who's going to
get in behind that Bayern team?
Wait, so basically, like, okay, if was one, who's going to give the ball to?
Basically, Bruno to Rashford. Let's go.
Bruno to Rashford. Bruno will probably be playing outright because if you hadn't noticed, United are down 2 right wingers, so. We don't. So how's he going to pass it to Rashford when he's playing on the other side of the field? Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is that if you know, everyone has really figured out Marcus Rashford now. He just basically takes the ball and runs. So it's not that difficult to mark the guy anymore, as Bryson showed. So, like, what exactly? Like I said, it's predictable. It's literally predictable. So, like I said, the only way that United get anything from this game, and they won't, is if somehow if Tucheliban plays Upamecano and De Ligt together, and Goretzka has a disaster class, maybe at a stretch, maybe. United can get something there. But, come on. It's Bayern Munich. It's away at the Allianz. United are in a mess. I expect at least a 2-0 to Bayern Munich, at least, I think. So maybe more potentially.
Ardius, I
I
have a
don't
question.
know, man. I think I still think they can do something. That's just me, though. I feel they can do something, but we'll see. Look,
if they don't get touched,
Zima, what you saying?
No, I was gonna say, like, for Man United, like, listen, like, they could possibly hit them with the counter, but can you depend on Rashi and Rasmus?
The Moose.
I don't know if that's enough. And I'll be honest, man. It would be a win for them if they don't get touched. Like, I'm gonna keep it real. Like, if they don't have like a gender reveal over there, that's good for them. Because Bayern, bro.
So are we saying an easy dub for Arsenal against PSV, or PSV can say something? It's even Arsenal.
Yeah, easy dub.
Easy dub for Arsenal.
Well, to be fair, PSV did knock them out the Europa, or they beat them in the Europa League last season, and they gave them a good game. So, and Arsenal have
were they taking the Europa League seriously because they were on course to win the league?
Well, yeah, maybe, but it's just that Arsenal Arsenal have when they're especially when there's a bit more pressure than they're expected to win, sometimes they can drop the buck a bit, and I think they have the tendency sometimes to underestimate their opponents. So PSV are not going to be like a walkthrough team, and like I said, they already have a victory over Arsenal. So I still think Arsenal favorites the Emirates, so there's no excuse. But I don't think it's necessarily going to be the easy game that everyone makes it out to be.
So what are we saying about Inter and Real Sociedad, man?
Inter win easily.
I'll be honest, Inter, because Real Sociedad they're too young, they're too naive.
No doubt, experience-wise.
So I expect Inter to win that game. To be honest with you, they're more experienced.
You know what?
Positive in football, man.
Okay, guys. Let's be real. Can it really be a Champions League without Chelsea? Let's.
Well, I was going to say where is Chelsea?
Hold on.
Yeah, it can.
It can.
Hold on. Elijah, what are you saying?
No, I was saying it's been a Champions League since 1992-93 without you. So I mean, what's the difference?
Okay, all right. That's just okay. What's called Delta? So you're not worried about Dortmund at all? You're not worried?
I mean, why should I be worried? I mean, it's Dortmund.
Delta. You do realize that if you allow I'm saying you, if you allow Mbappe to touch the Europa League, you know that I'm going to blame you.
I think there's a higher chance that United go to the Europa League than PSG personally, because United. I think it's a United problem that you think they will go to the Europa League. Us. I mean, it's AC Milan, Newcastle. Newcastle haven't been that great either. I'm not saying we've been amazing this season, but I'm saying we should be first place.
Can Mbappe do it on a really night in Newcastle?
Come on, we're talking about a guy who scored a World Cup hat-trick.
He's going to get locked up.
But did he score that hat-trick in a really night in Newcastle? He scored it in Qatar, not in Newcastle.
You know the answer. Come on.
No. I don't know. Delta, I don't, because Qatar and I said a rainy night in Newcastle. Also, Ardius lives in Newcastle. That crowd is something. So that crowd, it's going to be a fortress.
I wonder if Ardius is going to be there. But
I might. I'm thinking of getting tickets to see Newcastle PSV, man, because if Eddie Howe dunks on Mbappe, man.
No. Because you see, I am genuine because I look at that group, and because PSG they've had such a wild history, and they're the kind of club that would do the unthinkable. It is the kind of group that they would somehow find a way not to get through.
You know what?
Because I look at Dortmund, AC Milan, Newcastle. No, on paper they should walk that group with ease, but it's PSG. It's PSG. These are the same guys that allowed freaking Lukaku, aka Tims, to dunk on them in Paris. So I will not put anything past PSG.
I'm sorry, Josh, but I have to say this: Mbappe, he got rid of Neymar. We've seen it because they unfollowed each other on Instagram.
Wow. That's good.
Yeah, no, it's true. He got Kolo Muani. He got Ousmane Dembele.
Those French peeps.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to make him happy.
And also, how do you mean that you're trying to make him happy when, like,
we're trying to bring in
H, why are you beginning this again?
No.
Mbappe has to win the Champions League with PSG if you think he is as good as he is. It's that simple.
Okay, my response to that is giving someone his friends isn't how you win. You give someone the players
the reason he's still at the football club, HH. There's a reason he's still there.
If you really deep it, France scored a free kick. What's his excuse, man? Why haven't you at least given me a free kick, HH?
Because he's so busy winning a World Cup at 19.
No, bro, you can't give me a free kick, man. That 19 World Cup don't work on a free kick.
Delta, just out of curiosity, if PSG don't actually somehow qualify for the group, what will you do? What will be your reaction?
I'm interested. Yeah, what would you do?
What will you do?
Would you support them? Would you support them against Alaska United in the Europa League?
It's impossible.
Alaska United.
It's possible.
It's impossible.
But if I know it's impossible, but if it was to happen,
we've literally.
What would your reaction be if they were in the Europa League?
We've literally gave Mbappe a homogenous squad. Like he feels home now. Like there's no Neymar. There's no trash talk with Leonardo, who used to be our sporting director. It's impossible. He has to be 100% now. He has to feel at his best. So I'm not even thinking about Europa League, honestly. I just don't see a situation where on Tuesday we could be drawing, or even worse, losing to Dortmund at home. At the Parc
These are famous last words.
I honestly didn't see a situation. Guys, it's
Delta,
different.
you said you'd beat Bayern 4-1.
This is Bayern. That's what I'm saying.
I can't take.
But Delta, the problem is I didn't really see a situation of seeing players like Chong and Fred beating you guys in Paris. I didn't really see that situation.
Yeah, Delta. I didn't see that scenario.
Worry about your team, because I think Galatasaray and Bayern Munich will qualify. Worry about your own group stage. I believe if in that Dortmund game, I believe we'll beat them 3-1. I genuinely record it. I don't care.
No. Wait. So Delta, you're saying you will beat Dortmund 3-1?
Absolutely. I'm not even trying to be cocky. Look at Condinho over there. I'm not even trying to be cocky. This is a realistic prediction that most people would agree with me.
Dortmund are ass.
Why are we acting like this is 2013?
I agree, which is why
I think it's important. I think it's important because if you can't beat Dortmund at home, then I don't see PSG having any chance to get out of this group.
That's the key thing. So if somehow PSG draw, or if they lose this, that means that home game against Dortmund is gone. That means you have to. That means there's not pressure on Newcastle and AC Milan at home. So it gets very tricky.
See, if we play them at home, then I'd be like, you never know. I mean, they got the fans over there, but the fact that we got our fans and it's at home turf, I think it's going to be an easy walk in the park. Like I'm not even trying to be cocky or anything. I'm not saying we'll win the Champions League. I still believe City are the clear favorites to win that trophy, but I believe that, from my own perspective, that we should easily beat Dortmund because these guys are trash. This isn't 2013 Dortmund. I mean, they lost their best player, Bellingham. Who does Dortmund even have?
You don't rate Malen. You don't rate Malen.
They have the Krug. They have the Krug.
I want to ask this. Does anyone in this panel, or even in the chat, does anyone actually believe Dortmund will beat us this Tuesday? Like,
the expectation.
No. I wouldn't put it past them. I wouldn't put it past them.
I hope that's where I hope that's we don't have a situation where Dortmund win. But because I hope I'm right in thinking that
the issue is no one believes that Dortmund will beat PSG. The scary thing is that if they did, people wouldn't be surprised.
People wouldn't be surprised.
That's what we're saying. People wouldn't be surprised. They'd be like, PSG like that.
I can understand like the example we did lose to Nice the other day.
Nice biscuits.
It's Nice, actually.
I know, but it's nice. And also, they're actually very nice. Just that they're very sugary because they have those little sugar things on the biscuits.
Yeah,
so
big up Jim. Big up Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe being like Ratcliffe versus.
Okay, no, guys. I remember. I'll see you Monday. Members Hangouts. Tuesday usual Hangouts. Peace out. Oh, you know what? I did say big Ange. Let's do it.
Because I forgot to cook you, but I'll cook you.
Let's do a quick big Ange. So
big Ange, man.
Okay. Let me put this out. Do Spurs get top 5?
They have to. They have no place but to.
Look, man. Ange Ball is saying, look, I am surprised by how well Ange has been cooking. But AK, in your view, do you think Ange Ball can get top 5?
I mean, in my opinion, they're better than United and Chelsea.
After 5 games?
Yeah. They actually have a competent midfield. And an attack that works. 2 things that United and Chelsea don't have. So,
but can it last though? Because you know that Levy doesn't spend money, so you know that they're not getting any players in January.
Yeah.
So he has to work with these guys the rest of the season. So can he make this last for the full season?
I think Arsenal, Liverpool, City finish above them. I think one of either Brighton or like Newcastle, one of them finish above them. I think Brighton. Yeah, I think they can get 5th. Because realistically, who is going to finish above them? Arsenal, Liverpool, City, and one other.
Brighton?
Yeah, then they're still 5th.
See this. This is the thing. It's like I get the hype behind Andrew. I'm not saying Andrew is a good manager, but you also have to look at the amount of opposition that Spurs have played currently, and also the fact that like in the games they've come back. People are gassing Big Ange because they scored 2 goals against Sheffield United in a brace against injury time, and you're thinking they've beaten Bournemouth, and then they drew against the only competent team to play against Ben. Okay, yes, they beat Manchester United, fine. Okay, we're in a question right now, but at the end of the day, like they got
RDS, what if they beat Arsenal?
No. Here's a point. Think
when they came across a fairly competent team in Fulham in the Carabao Cup, they got knocked out, which is one of their only veins of a trophy this season.
RDS,
that was because they made those.
RDS, they literally had rotation.
You know what? Here's my thing. This is why. Let's talk about Big Ange after his next two games, which is North London Derby and Liverpool.
Facts.
Because my thing is Burnley are going to be fighting relegation. Sheffield United, so Burnley and Sheffield United recently promoted. Bournemouth are going to be fighting relegation. So the only winner I'll give them is United. That's the only winner I'll give them. Because for me,
Brentford.
And they drew Brentford. So the only time I'll say, okay, Big Ange, what are you about is Arsenal, Liverpool. Now we're talking. Again, Luton. So really,
to be fair, Brentford only lost once at home last season.
Yeah, but Brentford, to be honest, were denied a clear penalty in that game as well.
Yes, that was a penalty. So I think for me, I'm sorry, there is context here with these fixtures. There is huge context. And my thing is, I do feel it is hype because if these guys, if they beat Arsenal away, okay.
Yeah, even if they beat one of Arsenal, Liverpool, fine, we'll talk. Absolutely.
Yes.
So, but if Arsenal and Liverpool dunk on these guys, we know they're going to beat Luton trash, and when they face up against proper mid-table opposition, Brighton's, the Villas, so etc. So a Fulham and so on, even West Ham to a certain extent, then we'll see. Because to be honest, in the games they played, I know they're playing good football, but they've in the manner which they've still often left it late to be actually come out and actually win their games. And at the end of the day, if you're a Spurs fan, you're thinking, what was the expectation of the season? Get into the Champions League and maybe get a trophy. You're out of one of the only competitions where you could get that. Now you've only got the FA Cup and top 5 to sort of compete to. And potentially there's already 4. So if you get 7th and no trophy, how is that an improvement over last season? It's not.
Yeah. No,
even if you're playing better football.
Yeah, you see, my thing here is all we can say about Ange is how well they look and how much better they look after just losing Kane. That's what we can say. What we can't say is, this guy has now definitely done better and improved. Because
you can say they'll finish higher than Chelsea.
Can I talk about that? Well, that's not really that hard. But when it comes to what Big Ange is doing, yeah, you can give him credit in the world, but I kind of feel like the goal. I don't think you can say at the beginning of the season everyone had them in top 5. Nobody did. Some people held them in the Europa League situation, or people had them. That Harry Kane. It was whether or not he was going to leave.
That was also another context behind where they were going to finish to begin with, and the fact that they didn't have them. Everyone changed up and switched up and said they're not going to reach the top 5. Now, I agree with the sense of you can't necessarily say that he's done as much. There isn't that much to go by. But at the same time, I feel like with Big Ange, everyone giving him credit he deserves. But again, there's a bunch of managers that start well, and we're going to see what happens once they hit the rough patch, because they're bound to hit it. Every team hits a rough patch. That's when you judge the manager. Can he get out of it? Can he find the situation? Where is he at in 10 games? Where is he at in 15 games? And how good is the squad? I know that this guy doesn't necessarily have a squad. He probably has a starting 11 he could rely on. Like the Fulham game, the criticism was, well, that's the only trophy you can really go to. So why would you switch up and change your lineup? But then again, he was probably thinking, well, he probably believes that he can make it to the top 5, and he has confidence in himself in that. And to a certain extent, yes, we kind of tend to this whole like Big Ange. Yeah, we have to wait until a bunch of games happen, but we tend to give so much credit to managers without necessarily proving themselves. Like De Zerbi, he's playing incredible football, and he does deserve credit because he has more body of work. But at the same time, we have to see once he makes his big move. We know that he can do it at Brighton. He's already shown it. The next step for his career is going to be, well, he has to make a step up, or is Brighton going to get better? So that's always a question. I mean, like the same thing applies for like even in La Liga, like Michel for Girona. He's doing well with what he has and the tool he has. The next question is going to be, well, take a step. We're going to see where you're at in 10 games. Are you going to overperform expectations for the team that you do have?
Also, like the way he plays, like he leaves the center back so exposed. So, like, suppose he plays against Arsenal or Liverpool, 2 teams that have the quality to actually beat your press and play through you. How will Tottenham cope with that? I see them beating teams heavily. I see them losing like 4-0
it's going to be a big test.
Stuff.
Like,
yeah,
how he does against Arsenal and Liverpool is how I'm going to fully assess him. I'm not assessing you with Burnley, Sheffield United now.
Let's keep it. If there wasn't 8 minutes of injury time against Sheffield United, it's possible they could have lost that game. But somehow they got it was 14 or something. I don't know how many minutes.
Yeah. It was. I think it was like 11.
To be fair, Sheffield wasted a lot.
I know.
Time though.
I know. I'm not saying that they didn't, but I mean, obviously, it's the new rules this seaon. You add in the additional time they saw waste. So under old season rules, for example, like it wouldn't have been a thing. So
Elijah, real quick on Big Ange before we get out of here. Big Ange.
I mean, I give him credit. So far so good. Obviously, it's early days. I think honestly, a true assessment is those 2 major games, and then also the mid-season point. After 19 games, I think at that point we could get a close to clear-cut understanding of who he is as a manager in this league, because that's how you can be able to establish credit in the bank, right?
Yeah.
Also, and then he doesn't have European football, so that's fine. And he doesn't have, I mean, he only has one more other competition to really worry about. So he doesn't really have to stress about this idea of changing bodies. Let's just see if Tottenham can remain consistent. Also, I want to give a shout out to Richarlison. I know we abused this guy. We called him names. We called him a bum. We called him
he did have R9's haircut, so it's
true. I mean, we called him a pigeon. We called him the source of the fake Brazilian epidemic.
He did the chicken dance, to be honest.
He did do the chicken dance. He did the chicken dance. But I'm happy that he scored, because now can you show us you can do more? Can you show us you got more?
Yeah, and this is why I think a key test is going to be in these 2 games. Guys, remember, members hangouts on Monday, UCL hangouts Tuesday, Wednesday. Peace out, stay true, stay real. Boehly out, Clear Lake out. Bring back Brown. Peace out.
Right.
Peace out.